Okay,
Is that correct?
yeah, because I said
Okay.
3, yeah, so.
So have we heard anything from Marcia on her intent or plans? I wonder if she's just waiting for Monday for it to be a sealed deal and,
I don't know, but
Yeah.
maybe we can talk about it later.
yeah.
So minutes.
So did we ever approve these then or not?
No, I wanted to make sure that those were,
Yeah, that looks good to me, because it was 3. I guess the only other thing is, maybe put one from dispatch, and one from detention.
Yeah, because that was your
You got one
original,
detention
there was
officer
3 of
and
them.
One deputy, and maybe just put one in front of dispatch, one from, like you got the rest of them.
okay.
Yeah, because that's what I had on my corrections, but she didn't want to
Yeah,
approve the minutes until
yeah,
you verified that.
yeah, that's what it was. So,
I can't believe school's about to start. August is halfway through.
Yeah.
the fire alarm went.
Uh-huh.
Did
Really?
you get all that?
Oh, yeah, you were
What happened?
gone.
Yeah,
Fire alarm went off, the elevator
Something
started
with the
smoking.
elevator?
really?
So we were all standing out in front of the lawn, so I thought I better put that in the minutes
So
in case anybody
what
asks.
was wrong? Or-
I don't know, I never did
All
ask.
he said was that every once in a while, some motor or something sparks or something, does something, and he was gonna have them come and look at it this week, and it sets it off, but when he resets it, if there was actually a fire, it would tell it,
Mm.
Of course, he
What's happening?
got in a little match with the fire chief for turning it off. before
Charlie, you
the
around
fire
next
chief
week?
got here.
Except for Tuesday, I'll be here half day Monday, half day Tuesday to make up, because I'm not gonna be here the full day Tuesday. Cause I have conservation district.
I gotta do it. I wanna get my gravel bit sand bids out, so I'll get those put together on Monday maybe,
Okay.
so,
And then I just have to put them in the paper, right?
yeah.
And then,
It's so
Okay.
dry.
So Dwayne already, the July 8th, when me and Laura already went over, Dwayne just, okay, so now we're just doing the 4th and the 5th
Oh,
Yes.
well, yeah.
of August?
We'll approve the 8th too.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
we didn't really approve it, so.
you want us to send you an email on the
Okay, so
26th, I think, maybe at 10 o'clock? It's
Dwayne got all the changes in on the,
Jerry
on
Jones.
the July
Yep.
one?
Yeah.
All right.
Stupid trailer
I'll make a
court,
motion that we approve July
whatever
8th
about what he
minutes with
thinks
said
he's gonna try to
changes.
do with that and stuff.
I would second that motion.
All in
you know,
favor
I
of
don't-
July 8th minutes, say aye.
I don't tend to
Aye.
believe Jerry Jones, but
Okay.
he says that.
Any changes for August 4th?
Tagged him for $30,000.
I didn't see any.
I didn't see any either.
Me
Which I
either.
believe, because I knew the
I'll
water
make a
system was
motion
gonna
we
be
approve August 4th minutes.
$15,000.
All right.
Second?
All in favor of August 4th
Yeah,
minutes,
just
say aye.
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 Okay.
The 5th.
Do that.
Right on my calendar.
I, you
The only
know,
thing I had was down under
it's like a.
Commissioners Lowry
what,
stated,
Something, put down
says
some of
it
that
is
road metal.
currently
No, I don't know. that
a
it's
vacant,
gonna-
however.
I think he's
just
got
take
some
out
out
the
there
A.
now.
I'm sorry, on-
He says that's-
on-
Okay, right.
The 306
the
Spruce
second-
Street?
The
Do
second,
more going
right under 306
And
Spruce
chip seal it?
Street.
I don't think he wants to shoot it. I think he just wants to try to put it down.
We're
and see
talking
what
about
it's
that
gonna do.
house.
Well, what'll happen, it'll get hot and it'll,
After the Riverbend talk, then we go to the
washboard?
306 Spruce.
and it'll get hot and it'll pack
Vacant
in there and
house.
you won't be able to do anything with it.
Oh.
Can't even cut it and
Well,
it packs like
It's
asphalt.
the one right
eventually.
below the emboldened.
If it's got
Commissioner
an
Valley
oil in it.
Statesfield call
Yeah.
for
I mean,
me.
that's,
So you
that's
got-
all
it
we
is
have to do
currently
to
a
voice our
vacant
concerns
house.
of-
However,
Just take out
just
the
take
It is
out the
currently
A.
Let
vacant.
him
It's
figure out how he's
currently
gonna fix it then, I guess,
Yeah.
so.
That's the only thing I
And
found.
just call us when he thinks he's done and got her
I wasn't
put
here,
together
so.
and stuff.
Maybe just
Anyway, we'll have the-
on the Mary Ippish one,
have a
just, you
discussion.
have written down, the weeds are dry and she would like to see parcel mowed. I wonder,
Oh,
you wanna say, the weeds are dry and she would like to see,
of course.
the county park parcel mowed?
Okay.
We just went out and burned it.
Did you?
Wondering what the fire alarm was.
We did make him unhappy because we went out there and it's really rough, and
Oh.
wire and rocks, and so I said, well, we can't get our mower and water truck around. So we took the grader and I said, well, take the grader out, just cut it,
Cut a
the
fire.
stuff across, and go along the fence line. And this fall, when it kind of deteriorates, so we'll bring it back and smooth it up so we can get a mower under. Holy cow, we did that, and we had people on both sides calling and complaining, and
Why?
oh, they didn't want us to go out there with a grader. They just wanted.
They just wanted it mowed.
I asked, and
Well-
even Kelly said there was no way you
Sure.
could have got the mower and the
Yeah.
water truck around there.
Road discussion and road department update. So, yeah,
The only thing I had on that is, you know, the fight we've been in, not really a fight, just the discussion we've had on Southside
The
Road trying to
stalemate.
get. And I've called Steve, and I've called Steve, and I've called Steve, and every time he calls me back, and oh, it's gonna take longer, it's gonna take longer. Well, what's gonna happen is pretty soon we're out of season, you know, at the
Yeah.
end of this month, pretty much. And if he can stretch us out a little longer,
Won't be able
forget
to
about it.
until next
Then,
year.
then I come back next year, and I don't know that the city's gonna commit
Mhm.
that amount again, or, you know, I just don't know if it's gonna be available again. And I just thought, well, maybe it's time to make some phone calls as commissioners.
oh,
Put
cause see,
some
last
higher-
you and I spoke, I thought he was on the road to doing it.
I thought he was too. At one time, he sounded really, really good. He's like, yeah, I think we can get this done, and then he was supposed to call me back. He said, I'll call you back definitively on Friday.
Jason, what's his name?
Steve Felix. He says, I'll call you back definitively on Friday and let you
Mhm.
know. And, cause I even offered up some more trading, like trading some hauling up in the West End or something to trade whatever. And, he sounded
So
really
this
good.
is the email we got on July 14th from him.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was really.
That's the only communication.
I know, and I've talked to him a few times. I've called him and called him and called him. He's called me back once, I think, or something. Anyway, so it sounded all good and well, and then, you know, he was supposed to get back to me. Didn't get back to me. The next week I had called, left messages. And then 2 weeks later he finally called me back and said, well, you know, it's just a long process. He just kind of put me off, and I thought, well.
Are they still doing anything with their equipment
I
around
think
here?
they're
mean,
gone.
Their equipment's still here
2407,
somewhere,
94.
and they're going to
Call
have,
Kevin
the
Manahan
the
on
reason I say
speakerphone,
this is
maybe
because
he'll
I
answer.
know for a fact they're gonna have a big crew in, either end of next week or beginning of the following week, for they're gonna chip seal out. So I thought, well, they're gonna have all their guys together, I wonder if that wouldn't be a good time for, maybe if we put a little pressure on them, then maybe that would be a good time to do that, cause it's
Yeah.
only gonna take us one day.
Well, that was kind of, I thought that was kind of always the plan anyway.
Yes, they had their people
But he
here
won't.
and their equipment here,
But
and
you
let's
can't
get it
get it.
done.
I can't get him
Yeah.
to commit to
Commitment.
anything, and here, I mean, we've been sitting on our hands for 2 months.
Oh, you dialed, that's a 9. We got a Dr. Maurice Thompson.
Oh,
So
good.
7694, sorry.
Perfect.
Call a doctor.
Is it
Yeah.
gonna ring here? Oh, there we go. I should probably call back. Yeah, I just missed a call from you guys.
And I think we need to, I think we need to talk to that,
Julie or whoever. it is.
somebody above, I think we try to get.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Kevin Minahan.
Is not available. At the tone,
Probably up on the west
please
end.
record your
I think they're all
message.
doing something up there
When
on
you
the
have
hill.
finished
Are you trying to
recording,
call
you may
Kevin?
hang
Yeah.
up or press 1
Oh.
for more options.
Hey, Kevin, it's Roman. We're in the commissioner room today, and we were just talking about Southside Road with T-Bone here, and seems like Mr. Felix is back and forth, and indecisive. So I wanted to see what you thought we should do next. If we should call Mr. Tooley or give Felix another try, or what's your opinion on it? If you get time, call us. We'll be in here today at 822-3556. All right, thanks. Bye.
I was hoping Denver would show up actually, because he went in and talked to Steve, and it was right after he talked to Steve, I talked to Steve, and it was really sounding good. He was real
Yeah.
positive and said he was going to talk to some lawyers and make this happen, and they kind of faded. I'm sure he has a lot of things to do. But we have been kind of, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should go above big leagues.
I think that they keep saying that Tooley's a real receptive guy that likes to know what's going on around the state. And
But we haven't really talked to Ed yet, have we?
Ed Taves.
Oh yeah, that's Felix's boss. Isn't
Ed
it?
Taves.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's Felix's boss, but Ed, I think has pretty much washed his hands of it. If you ask
No,
me.
he invited me to come in and talk about it.
Oh, so I've never
He
heard
said-
that because
he
I
said,
called
"Come in
and left
and
message
sit down
after
and
message.
We'll talk and we'll get the mechanics of it figured out.
I don't know because I called and left message after message
What's
for Ed
Tooley's first
Taves
name?
and never
Mike
got a
Tooley.
response.
I know,
So
Well, we could call him and see what he said.
anything's worth it, if we don't get this done pretty soon, it's
Yeah,
either
we're running
if I don't
out
have
of
it done
time.
if we don't get it done basically by the end of August, we might as well forget about it. So
Do we have?
For
Do
this
you have?
year anyway.
Do we have a
this year.
number for? What is it? I guess we just call the highway.
257, 5300, whatever.
five
What's the first number?
523, right?
523.
He works for the state, right?
Yeah, I think it's 523.
5803 is
5800 or 5500. I think the main line might be 5800, but you got his direct line for his desk?
Oh, well, I do, but I thought the direct line was, you're right, I think it's 58.
523 5800, and then we'll see if Ed Taves is in.
Right here, Ed Toes. Taves?
Taves.
Yeah, you say it, Taves. Don't call him a toad.
Now I'm probably gonna, now that you said that. Who am I asking for?
Ed Taves.
You'll get this to desk. You'll have to-
Yeah, is Ed Taves available, please? Thank you. Yes, my name is Charlie Thompson, and I'm calling with the Mineral County Commissioners.
Yeah.
Should suggest that if,
Yes, please.
how much time do you have for this?
We got till 10. I don't know, 20 minutes.
Well, if Steve was there, get the two of them in the same
Yeah.
office and just kind of,
He's not there.
Oh,
I'm leaving a message.
okay.
That's Friday, I'm sure nobody's here.
They're on the reservoir fishing.
Can't blame him for that.
No.
Hi, Mr. Taves. My name is Charlie Thompson, and I work
Oh, are
with the
they?
Mineral County Commissioners as their administrative
Flathead?
assistant. And they are in session today and
Flathead?
have some questions about a local Southside road here in Mineral County. If you could please give us a call back, area code 406-822-3556. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyway, that's all I had. I just think maybe put a little, obviously we haven't ever brought up this thing of saying, well, we're gonna put a weight limit on that road because it's getting broke up because of all them heavy loads.
Yes, or make them go to the dry creek exit and,
Well, yeah, I mean,
but it's gonna then it's gonna tear up that side,
yeah.
end of the road, but.
I just wish they'd just help us. This, like I said, it's kind of a,
Yeah, I'd say one way or another.
it's kind of a no man's land road,
Yeah.
I'm not asking for them to
Mhm.
accept ownership, we just ask for a little bit of help.
Mhm.
So, and like I said, I think the city has really chipped in a nice portion.
Mhm.
We put in a portion. If the state could just give us one day, we'd be in and out, so. Anyway,
Commissioners meeting room, this is Charlie. Hey Kevin, how are you? Good. Hey, I'm gonna put you on the spot and put you on speakerphone with the board. Okay. We got Jason and Roman and Dwayne and Lori and Tim and George and myself and Mary. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Roman.
Hey,
So-
Kevin.
Hey, Dwayne.
We're here with T-Bone, and we thought we were on the road to Felix deciding and saying, yay, go ahead with, with the money from the city and the money from the county. All we kind of needed was a day or 3/4 of a day labor commitment from the state, but he's waffling back and forth, so we didn't know what you thought we should do next at this juncture. Do we call Ed Taves? Do we call Mike Tooley? Do we try to call Felix one more time? What's your opinion?
This is my opinion. What I've learned from experience is if you ask for something and you don't get the answer that you're looking for, you either respond again or you go above. And so what I've learned, like with emails, and if I don't get a response, I resend it with the next higher up
CC.
included. So I think you give Ed Taves a call because he's been out there for one of your meetings too about that road, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, several times.
Okay, so I would get a hold of him,
Mm-hmm.
and then if he gives you the same back and forth, then just keep going up the chain till you get a definite yes or no.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin, this is Tim Reed.
Uh-huh.
When Ed was here, he says, hey, why don't you arrange and set up a meeting and come in and talk about it? I'm just kind of wondering, are they kind of being a little stiff-necked about it just because they wanted to do it a certain way, or, I mean...
No, I think the reason they're stiff-necked about it is liability. Is we are using state resources for something that isn't a state project. And I think that's what they're gun-shy about. But if we get an okay from someone higher up, then there's no question. And it may have to go clear to the governor. Who knows?
Yeah,
but,
that's what I was gonna say. But I would think with the liability thing, they'd be just as worried if somebody had an accident out there and someone said, well, geez, what caused this road to be in such poor shape?
Right.
Looks like to
Yep.
me it's right at the entrance of where the state shop is at.
Mm-hmm.
I'd think that'd be just as big a liability as what they're looking at there, but.
Especially after we've already offered up this grand plan to pay for everything, and I think we're doing our part plus to get this put together. And
But
yeah,
you
and
may be right, it may have to
and
go
from
right
my
to the
standpoint, I'm all
government.
for it too, because it's beating my trucks to death.
Yeah.
right,
Call 'em.
and that's
But that's not my decision. So,
yeah.
like I said, until you get a definite yes or no, you just keep going higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
Well,
Okay.
thanks for your input. All right.
thanks, Kevin.
yeah, no problem.
All right,
Okay,
take
we'll
care.
talk to you later.
Get back to work.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Bye.
So, Do we have some of the, do you have any of the emails that you already did send? I wonder if we could just take one of those and just,
I've never emailed him. I've
Oh,
always called
you've
him.
already called
I'm
him.
not an email guy. I like to talk to
A
somebody.
guy should be though.
I know,
there-
you probably
we
should.
should
You
be.
had an email.
I
too.
did, yeah. Maybe I'll resend, or add a new email to that old one and then send it up to Steve and CC Ed. And
Just say the commissioners have looked at this.
Thule, and I mean, I would just on up the chain.
Yeah,
I would say from the commissioners, you've looked at this project, you know, what we've put in, what the city's wanted to put in, you know, and we're willing to even trade a little
yeah,
service.
and there's always been we're willing to do that, and then at some point it's just, oops, no, we're not.
Yeah, so,
But it is campaign year, maybe it would have to go right to the governor, or to his opponent.
Yeah.
To his opponent. Yeah, he can cut up. I heard he stops access. He can stop state access.
Yeah.
So is there anything that I need to do on this?
write a big, long letter.
Oh, I can write a pretty mean email if you want me to.
And I try to refrain from being ornery or demanding.
Yeah.
I try to be.
Yeah, just,
When I can type, I'll use your office, I'll send an email, and maybe I'll use my old one so that it shows the date that we initiated this whole
Just
conversation.
make sure you tell that, you know, the importance of getting this road fixed, you know, to the community, for the
Yeah.
community and
Yeah, it's
safety.
a
Safety,
hazard.
yeah.
It's a safety hazard.
Right.
especially
I mean,
with your
it
trucks
really is.
too.
Like I said, without saying, flat out saying, you know, your trucks are causing this. Their
Yeah.
trucks are causing this.
You know, and that used to be a state highway 262. I wonder what year they gave it to the county. It was called secondary 262.
Right, and they're, and as far as I'm concerned, they're the property owner on it, you know, they own the right of way.
Oh, we're just maintaining it?
Well, yeah, it sits on their right, it's on freeway right of way, highway right of way.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's why it's always been kind of one of the contentious roads where, you know, you're on state right of way, you're in the city limits, and you're county maintained. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's, I call it no man's land. So, but like I said, we're not asking for them to take responsibility, we're just asking for a little help.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me no, and then,
Oh, for communication equipment?
yep. And so then Charlie kind of researched it a little bit and kind of re-asked the question in a different way, and they still said no.
So they're not gonna let you spend the money.
They will not let us spend
Well,
it
you
on
can
that.
spend the money, spending the money is up to the commissioners. That's something that needs to be clarified. Whether you have an audit finding, which we have had audit findings.
Yeah,
But,
and over so much, I mean,
yeah,
you know, they
that
could,
old Title
they
III,
could make you pay it back.
I don't agree with that at all.
I know you don't. I mean, I know
There's no
you don't.
question that you don't.
Yeah.
The
But
old
that's what the
Title III
auditor said, so you guys can
Yeah.
do whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want.
I don't wanna get in an argument with you about it.
Yeah.
The old Title III money had no restrictions on it. He is wrong about that. And if he does a little research, he would find out that, I mean, it's been spent on everything from shoelaces to,
So we actually,
and I bet we're probably the only county in the state that
that
has.
has
one.
any left. See, that's the funny part, right? Because, so we had to go, I have an old work paper that has the requirements for that, the old Title III,
Mhm.
and it does have all the stipulations and what's allowed and what isn't. So there are, you know,
Well,
there are
there were
restrictions.
some, yeah.
So, but anyway, so you go to look for that now, or you call.
Well, you can't even find
you
it.
call the
Not
feds.
on there.
You can't
Yeah.
find it because everything's been updated. So then that was interesting. So then we had to, Charlie, then she talked to this other gal at the feds, and, you know, they pulled up the wrong one, and I'm like, no, that's the wrong one. Like, that's current, you know, I said, you have to go find the old one. So then they went back on the internet and found this old one, and it does still have regulations, and so we sent that to the auditors, and that's what they looked at, was the old stuff. So I personally thought it was gray. Like, I was thinking,
It is great,
I was thinking we could do it, in my opinion,
because it hasn't been done.
but so it's all up to the auditors. I mean, so then I think even Harold got involved somehow because they had
Tom
They
had emailed Harold.
Well, actually, I think that she emailed Kim. They emailed
Oh.
Kim at Local Government Services, and Kim forwarded on to Harold. And Harold pretty much said he didn't think it's allowed. He goes, but it's really up to the auditors because it's so old that the feds don't even care about
Yeah,
it.
and they never did care about it.
No. So,
Anyway,
Sometimes
That's where
asking
it is.
for permission is worse than begging for forgiveness.
that's right.
yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's that. So I'm not sure how, if you guys want to continue to allow them to do it or change the budget and take that back out. Because right now we budgeted whatever we said, 22,000 or something.
Now, that's purely up to you guys. I'll pass it on to the ham operators when you, if
Did,
that's the case, they've scheduled classes for,
Oh, yeah.
they want to teach the technician level course. And yet I can't believe they think it takes this long to learn it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nights, 3 hours a night to get a license as a ham operator anymore.
Why don't you ask some old military people who have already done it?
I guess they had a lot of people at their last meeting and were getting all enthusiastic, and I said, don't get excited yet. The check isn't in the mail yet. But,
Put a
anyhow,
Y on the end, yeah.
let me know what you finally decide. Mainly, I was here to talk about my other little budget.
Well, I think that that's more something that you and I and Jess need to do by ourselves, not with the commissioners.
Oh,
The-
okay.
Just because that,
Well, I had told the commissioners, remember we talked about that I get 100% reimbursement? I lied to you. I didn't mean to, but I got this nice surprise when I sent in my reimbursement this last time.
I've already changed it in the budget. Charlie's already kind of given me an update, so I've already changed it.
Do
So-
you understand what they're saying?
I haven't spent any time looking at it. We can meet later though,
Okay.
and talk about it. I'll be here Tuesday of next week, and we can go over that some more. But I don't know. I really I'm not up to speed on it at all, other than Charlie just telling me that
back to the Title III stuff, yes?
yeah.
Did anybody ask the question on Tim's maps then?
Tim's maps are allowed. Our previous auditor already said that. I can argue that all day long, and I have the documentation that shows that planning is allowed from the old requirements. So I'm not worried about mapping.
Okay.
But I did think the equipment was gray,
It is great. We spent
so that's why I
$10,000
asked,
on
because
it.
it's all gonna be up to
Yeah.
that auditor.
We spent
whoever-
$10,000 on equipment for Jerry
Yeah, and-
Doctor's well in St. Regis, and the auditor okayed it. So I
Just
mean,
pass that up.
if we're gonna go on equipment basis,
Yeah. I think you get a different auditor and they may say it's okay. So
Fine.
So I don't need to be here.
No.
Okay. I'll go away.
Maybe we'll talk Tuesday though, if you are not too busy.
Email me so that I make sure that I get the right time and place.
I know, cause I had Tuesday, you had Thursday.
Yeah.
For what? Oh,
That was
okay.
when I talked to you last, and apparently I either misunderstood or something went wrong, so email me so that I have something to tell me when I'm supposed to be here or not.
Okay, will do.
What's new in Alberton, George?
Oh, burned up a locomotive.
I seen that, but Frenchtown saved you.
Yeah, I went out and looked at it,
Where was it at?
at the end of, the road out there, right in front of BJ's house.
here?
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
wow.
switch.
That's where they stopped, and
Huh.
BJ told them, no, don't go any further,
Yeah.
And they uncoupled it from the train, put it out. Frenchtown Fire, I think, was on scene in about 15 minutes after getting paged. Then they waited about 45 minutes to get the train, the locomotive de-energized so that they could squirt water in it. Put it out. I don't know where they parked. Did they park it at Lothrop or did they take it on into Missoula?
I don't know.
But they kicked it off. They're gonna take it to a locomotive shop and investigate what happened.
Only.
Pretty stinky, a lot of insulation burned.
Hmm.
Then we had a crash in front of my house on the freeway yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I was on that one.
Were you? Is that the same car that hit the guardrail that wound up way over?
The one that was rolled over in
Yeah.
the driving, yeah, it hit, you know, so what, a lot of people crashed there. I remember one time 20 years ago, an old couple went off and they went on the backside of the guardrail and they hit that concrete
Mhm.
and they died. But this guy fell asleep and then they call them impact attenuators. Instead of just having the guardrail begin
Yeah.
and you hit the end of the start of the guardrail, now they're some of them are more like accordion-like up on the pass, and some of them are just like, they have like little stakes that are meant to break off about 8 or 9 down before you start hitting some posts. So he hit that impact attenuator, which did its job, and then when he got to the post, after he slowed down, then it flipped him over and he tumbled down the
He
interstate.
tumbled a long way.
He had his belt on and was
I
out
heard
walking
it.
around.
I decided to sleep in yesterday, and I was laying there thinking about getting up, and I hear this whomp.
Oh, you actually heard the impact?
Yeah, I thought something either blew up or a heck of a crash happened.
Yeah.
Then I heard all the whistles, so I got up, walked out on my deck and looked down, oh, there it is. I didn't go
Oh, yeah,
down.
you had a bird's eye view,
We
didn't
gotta
you?
get going, we have an hour and 45 minutes to do
Huh?
this whole budget.
Pardon me?
We have an hour and 45 minutes. It's
Oh.
supposed to be a 3 hour,
Response-
it's
oh.
2.
I don't know.
Okay.
Alberton Station, response out of there, I haven't seen any.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I shouldn't have encouraged to shoot the breeze because Jessica's pressing me, we gotta get going. So,
Okay.
thanks, George.
For good reason.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a budget work session. And I've supplied you guys with the funds that we need to focus on today. So all of the funds up on the board are the ones that we need to focus on. And then in addition, in your handout, you guys have the revenue detail again, and you have expenditure details on all of these funds with all of the revisions we've made last time. So in this spreadsheet, how it works is we have beginning cash, and that's the cash on July 1st. We have plus or minus any, accounts receivables or accounts payables, because that will affect our cash when that money comes in. We have proposed revenue, proposed expenditures, proposed reserves, based on this percentage, the 13 and 10%, gives us ending cash of this column. So if you look at the general fund, for example, the general fund, it would end if we are proposing, and this is all in the hopes we collect everything that we budgeted, right, and we spend everything, but it's a good estimate. And the other thing, so if we are proposing that we're gonna have 13% in reserves, we should end the year with $156,000. That would be great, right? Over here in this section is where we're gonna make some adjustments maybe today. So we have our current mills. The general fund is voted. We don't ever give those mills to anybody else. So our revised mills are always gonna be 20, our difference is 0. So that's not gonna change here in the general fund. In the weed fund, the next one down, it's also a voted 2 mills. Now, in the past, when the county used to have more money, they actually used to supplement that a little more and give them an additional mill in addition to the 2 voted. So I'm not sure, but it's an option. You guys could do that. And then 911 emergency. This fund doesn't get any mills. However, it's money that comes for 911. And we're ending the year with $20,000 in it. And I don't know if we want to say that's good, because with that type of fund, with a fund that's solely based on other revenue sources, not mills, we could sure spend more of that. So, like, for example, so last year, there was 2 dispatch people paid out of 911.
Mhm.
This year, they're paying 1 dispatch person out of 911.
And the rest of that money, is that supposed to go for those new radios they're supposed to be getting?
No, and the bulk of it, so they've added that $36,000 to that fund, for their new dispatch system. So $36,000 every year is the estimate. I've never seen anything official from DIS who's doing it. But that's in that 911 budget.
Okay.
So,
It's not the radio, but it's that computer system that keeps track of it.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of Swift and doing that new
yes,
one.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the dispatch. I don't know exactly what that entails, but.
Mhm.
So that's changed. So, so now what that means is that one of those employees is now out of public safety that used to be out of 911.
Right.
Okay. The other thing to point out that I kind of skipped over, I think, is the mill value.
Mhm.
It's now $11,114.
And
So
it was what, 9?
it's like 9,500. And the main reason for the increase is the centrally assessed. They changed, I don't know, some centrally assessed entity merged with another entity, and they changed how they were doing their accounting. And they showed more revenue. And so that's why, primarily why our mill value went up. We also had some new construction. And new construction is the best thing for our county.
Tax base wise.
Yeah, new construction results in more money for the county.
Mhm.
So, given that, we would really want to encourage like subdivisions and.
So, and is this actually a net revenue gain for us, or like you said, was there gonna be a subtraction somewhere
No,
else?
so it wasn't, it was, so we ended up getting $176,000 more. We're able to levy $76,000 more.
Okay. Sanders County's mill went up by 3,000. I think they went from
3
34.
million?
They went from 34,000 to 37,000 or something.
Yeah. They're bigger,
Yeah.
maybe more centrally assessed, but I think it is all coming from that same.
Well, yeah, they got those dams up there too.
And does
Yeah.
this mean though, so in the past, anytime there was a big increase like that, is the BPA gonna turn around?
So that is the risk, right? And so I think it was, what I heard is it was a $2 million increase on their valuation.
They'll protest that?
So they may protest it.
Oh, there, yeah.
You think so? Yeah. So that's really scary, right? So let's say one of our biggest taxpayers protests. So what happens is they pay the taxes, but then we can't distribute the money to ourselves. We can't spend it. It goes into a special fund until it's determined who, then they go to court and whatever. They figure out come to some agreement on what they owe, and then it can be distributed and spent. So if we have to pull out, I have no idea what they would even pay. I would imagine a very large percentage. It would be an interesting situation for the county. We would probably have to borrow money from somewhere else. But this is the scary thing. Say we borrow it from the road fund, right? Jason will kill me. Let's say we borrow it from the road fund though, and let's say we lose.
Yeah.
Right? If we win, it's no big deal.
We pay it back.
We get the money, we pay it back. If we lose, how do we ever pay the money back? And you have to pay it
Yeah,
back.
you do. That was the big
So,
dilemma when
that
I was
is
on
the-
the school board.
Right, so we don't really want to, and that is why, you guys, that you have reserves.
Mhm.
Just for that scenario, but we don't have any reserves. So that's the issue, and that's why you always have reserves. So I guess
It'll
we'll just
take-
see what happens with it. I don't
yeah,
know, I mean,
It'll take, I would say a minimum of 2 years, I bet maybe 3 before they settle it. I
Right.
mean, that one with the schools went
Right.
on forever.
Right.
Now, things may have changed, they may have simplified some stuff since
where it's
then.
faster.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So, that's that. So keep that in mind. So from the fair all the way down to public safety, these are what we call county-wide funds.
Mhm.
And we can move these mills, so our total countywide mills is 99.58. This is what we're allowed to levy. But we can move those mills anywhere we want within these funds. Technically, you could give some to the general fund, but I don't think that would happen. You could give some to the weed if you wanted to. But primarily, we can move them within here. The other thing, you know, we can adjust this reserve figure down. The more I adjust it down, the better this deficit looks of 180,000, right? You know, I could.
So you mean instead of shooting for the 33%, go a little bit less?
Well, no, I'm at.
They're only.
Right now, I'm only
right
at
now.
10.
Oh,
See over there on the side.
33% recommended, but see underneath that, there's like.
oh,
You're
gotcha.
never gonna get
Oh.
to 33%.
Oh,
Oh no, not in
No,
one
no.
year.
Oh, okay,
13%
now I'm following you.
For the general fund.
But we can change that to, you know, I mean, you can. I don't think it's gonna help in the end. I mean, in the end, the problem is, we simply spend too much money for this,
what we take
for
in.
what we do at this county. So, I mean, you sure can change those numbers, like, you know, change this to like 5%. Look at what happens. You know, if you change the
Wow.
general fund, it's only 5%. So really, you could do that, but
Well, you-
but it's not what I
you're borrowing
recommend.
time,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yes.
but-
Turn that TV
Because we really need to get back to,
on the side.
and
On the
that
top.
is gonna have to
Here?
be done every year until we get it back up.
Mhm.
There you go.
So, I mean, you can manipulate these numbers many different ways. So if we just did 10%.
Oh,
whoops.
okay.
So you guys, so I think like what we need to do at this point then is go through, and we don't need to look at revenue, because revenue, we're good with revenue. We've already looked at that and that hasn't changed. So at this point, we just need to look at the expenditure side and see what we can get rid of.
What you're looking at right there is to come up with $147,000.
Yep.
Well,
That's-
what does it do, Jessica, if all those other ones that are 10%,
Mm-hmm.
if they all were 9%?
We could make that completely, I like the way you do that.
Just fix it just so easy, right, until the end of the year next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we're like, uh-oh.
So that way we're looking at, we need to do some cuts of up to $131,000.
If you wanted to shoot for that 9%.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And it doesn't have to be the same, like, we could say, you know, like, it could be 5% in some funds, or,
Mhm.
we could do that. And then maybe next year, I mean, and then next year go to 18%, and the next year, you know.
And so this is all inclusive of the riffs and everything. We're looking at the new,
That's correct.
yeah,
Yep.
Does that have
and
that contract that we have with the sheriff's office in it now?
for revenue.
Yes,
Okay.
expenses
You
for their
know,
new payroll.
Oh, okay.
Assuming,
If we settle with the union.
yeah, so it has
Well-
both. It has all of last year, the
And they've already included in their potential revenues their contracts with the cities for contract police and,
They should have. I'm sure they have. I'm not sure, but yeah. We've looked at it line by line and
Okay.
it seems consistent with the prior year, nothing
Okay.
popped out. I did find some additional revenue the other
She
day.
did. Every
So-
day
what,
she's
was it
finding
some
new-
quarters in a couch somewhere?
No, so the local county option tax has been misallocated. And we have been giving the hospital, we've been giving a lot of funds that don't necessarily need it. County option tax money.
Hmm.
But specifically, we've given the hospital approximately $15,000 a year, and I only went back 3 years. But we've been giving them that, and that's not a requirement.
So we shouldn't have to pay them rent for the.
So anyway, so we've been
Health
giving them
department.
$15,000 a year for years
Mm.
for additional revenue. So that's also reflected in this budget, where I pulled all of that local, the county option tax back. The county option tax only has to go to the general fund, town of Superior, or city of Superior and town of Alberton. That's it.
How's that collected? What's that? What is that?
It's collected with like motor vehicle.
Oh, okay.
It's just one of
Okay.
the many things that you pay.
From the treasurer's office.
Yes. And so anyway, so that's interesting. So that helped us out, what did I think it was?
Is that
About
set?
88,000.
Is that a set percentage or
Yes.
can each county change their own county option tax?
Yes. Yes. You can decrease it. I'm not sure. How I think it works is the commissioners can decrease that percentage,
Mhm.
but to increase it, you have to have a vote.
By,
'Cause the people.
okay. Because, registration fees, well, unless you buy a new car, but when you have an old, it's pretty cheap in Montana to buy my old Cadillac. It's like
'Cause it's
$40 a year.
0.5, is it 0.5%? And I think you can go to
Mhm.
0.7 per statute,
Mhm.
but with a vote.
I see.
So anyway, so that's been reflected on here, that change, and then the other, revenue. So do you remember how at the last budget meeting, Marcia was asking about that Alberton contract? She'd get $6,000 and I
Mhm.
told her I'd look into it. $3,000 of it was, accidentally sent to the state. So they collected it, put it in, the wrong fund and sent it to the state.
Who's they?
Treasurer's office.
Oh,
So, anyway, and in addition to that, there was some other weird things when I started looking at it. And so there's a lot of the law enforcement contracts,
mm-hmm.
about 15,000 that should have gone to public safety was also sent to the state. So we're gonna get,
Do we have a treasurer school?
they're going to be able to get that back.
Do they
Really?
get, can they get
I
trained?
just, yeah, I just heard, so we are gonna be able to get it back, so I am going to book it as a receivable, and it will help, so I mean, so you can add, 15,000 to that public safety, we could do it now. It's just, and then to the general fund, we can add 3,000.
Charlie, do you get the little notices from Mako, like when there's an upcoming, maybe we'll have to make a flag to send some of the gals to a training, because there's been
So-
so many mistakes, that maybe they could learn how to do it better.
Well, I think we could get another treasurer in here to be trainer. I don't know.
Maybe we could call Toots Bricker back and
Yeah.
pay her for 2 days of training. I had Toots come in to figure out the old 25% fund. Nobody knew how to do it, so I asked Toots, and she came in the office and sat down for a day and got all the numbers for me.
So anyway, So that helps a little bit, but it's, you know, it's like that hospital. I mean, we've probably given them
Well, it's
That's
like
the-
$45,000
just in
in
3
the last
years.
3 years.
So anyway, and we've given the museum some of that money and a lot of other things, but so it will be fixed though this month. Going forward, it's all fixed. But so anyway, so what do we want to do? Because we need to make some decisions. Or you three need to make decisions.
So,
There's 15,000, you know, right now. If you let's look at the expenditure budget. Maybe let's do that. So, you know, so we'll just start on page 1 of 26, I guess.
Is there any way to get that up on the screen?
No, you couldn't see it anyway.
Maybe looking over your shoulder, I'm not finding it.
No, it's underneath there.
Is it-
I made you copies.
Okay.
Oh.
This is new stuff that are in your binders. It's, go to page 26 and then it'll start on expenditures there, Dwayne.
Okay,
page 26.
thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
I can tell you right where it's laying.
Mine says, I'm looking on page 1 of 26.
Yep, you're good.
Oh.
I'm to 9.
Oh, you have the revenue first?
No. Nope, it's broken up by expenditure and revenue.
Okay. It's 426. Only 3 would.
On the which one?
So we don't need to spend much time on revenue today.
Okay,
Instead of 9?
Just that.
Right.
Just the expense stuff.
Let's see where we're at there.
So, like right now, we have budgeted $15,000 in case Tim retires. We could
Where-
get rid
where-
of that.
Where are we looking at? Which?
That's actually a different fund. I guess we should just go fund by
Oh.
fund.
Okay.
But, so now you guys, so if you look at this, so this was our preliminary budget. This is the one that we talked about at the last,
Oh, yeah.
meeting.
Preliminary.
Then we have all the changes that were made in that
Okay.
second column. And then the final budget is well, not final, but it's final as of today.
Okay.
And so we're gonna be looking at that final budget column and seeing what we can do there. So I think maybe you guys can just look at each page.
So, for the commissioner's budget, if it's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
the legal, you know how we went from 30 down to, or from 40 down to 30?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think we better go back up to 40.
you're going the wrong way, Charlie.
I know, I'm sorry, but we're already like
Yeah.
$15,000 in.
Another $7,000.
Oh, for the union
Yeah.
lawyers?
Horrible. How about a pen?
Well, just since
Okay.
the last 2 months, it's $15,000.
But I would hate to,
Yeah. Okay.
so we gotta go
Gotta
back up
go
to 40.
40.
Yeah.
And then, so top of the page, first one.
Yes.
110. How come the previous year was 54, now it's 63 for?
Because remember, we cannot pay. They were
Taking it out of the road fund.
They were taking 50% of the commissioners' pay out of the road, and that's
Oh.
not acceptable.
Oh,
It's not good. So 30%. So now you're 70% general fund,
Oh,
30%
okay.
road, and that's reasonable. We could
Okay,
sell,
okay.
auditors will go for that.
dang it, that's the only trust fund we
I
had.
know what.
And I think that was the whole intent. I don't even remember when that was done. You've probably seen it when it was done,
I know. No, it's a great idea, right? Like Lincoln
but
County.
we thought it was.
I remember auditing Lincoln County, 15 years ago, and they paid 100%.
Wow.
That didn't go over well. They had to pay it back.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah. But it's like, no, it's a great place to spend money out of. But the auditors don't
But
like
the only
it.
place that's got any money.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you guys want to do it. I'm not sure if you guys already have ideas in your head where we're like, okay, let's cut this, and we could address all of that first if anybody has ideas, or we could go line by line. How would you want to go?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the lines, I'm
Mhm.
saying, well, haven't seen anything yet that looks, I mean, I'm on the justice court one already now.
So the justice court, I mean, you have to look at it. You have to say, well, do they still need 3 people there? Do they need 2.5? I mean, you have to look at it like that. You know, does the clerk and recorder's office need a full-time person? Does Kathleen's office need a full-time a deputy? You know, can those be changed to part-time? Should they be 20 hours? You guys have to look at all of that.
I mean, you could say the same thing with public safety. You know,
Public safety, do we need to get rid of a couple more people out of public safety?
I mean, you're looking at we're not gonna nickel and dime this.
You are not. That's what I'm saying, like,
Supply budgets are, you know.
yes. And we should sure look at supplies. I mean, and so we could go line, why don't we do this? Why don't we go line by line? We'll do any small adjustments. And then we can look at, the larger adjustments.
So Jess, would it be like at all helpful if they decided how much they want to put in their reserve first? So maybe they need to come to an agreement on a percentage for their reserve first?
I think that's a really good idea.
What
And
if
then-
we went, like the negative ones, what if we went down to 5%? You know,
You're not solving any problems.
right.
You're just not solving any problems by doing that. All you're doing is putting the county
Yeah.
at higher risk every year if we don't start doing the changes to get it up. I mean, and the negative, what that means is that just means we move money around between those funds at the end. Really, we just.
Right, yeah.
And then, you know, like, but I think Charlie's right. I think we should look at and they don't have to be the same. I don't know. You guys, I guess it's just a decision you have to make. I think I've given you, like, the information to make it, but
So, we got the treasurer's office down to 3, and in fact, at the last department director, I don't know if you were here, Lily,
Yeah.
she was saying, oh my God, I'm gonna need a 4th one back, I can't
Well,
do this work.
maybe Kristen can work over there.
Yeah.
On days that she's not doing recording.
Just
I don't
don't,
know. I mean, where she's worked in there.
don't mention any
Oh, right,
names.
no names.
Oh.
Am I allowed to speak during this? at all?
Yeah.
Okay, just some stuff I'm hearing, guys, and I love doing this because I'm interested in all of this. Charlie's suggestion to get that number down is a great place to start. I thought that was a really good suggestion. And then my other thought is, as someone that's in a department, understanding that you guys have to make these monetary cuts and talking about positions and things, just a thought that I've been having and might be appreciated is if you had a number for each office of what they had to cut, and then they could kind of have a say in those decisions of who went half-time or those types of things, because coming from that personalized spot of being in an office, giving them some choices in that, and giving them the
I
opportunity
think
to say,
that's exactly what will happen.
That's what
But the
I
fact
you
is,
know,
that's exactly what will happen. So what will happen is, the commissioners will cut the budget to a certain level. And then, at least the elected officials have to work within that budget.
yes.
So that is what will happen. I
And
mean,
they
they're
can
not gonna
make
dictate.
decisions within their
No.
office of,
No.
okay.
No.
Okay, the people not these guys, but I'm saying you guys would
It
give them
depends
that
on the
monetary
department.
amount.
I mean, because commission, like your department, it's not an elected official. The commissioners have more authority there.
Absolutely.
But for the elected official departments, really they will just give a budget and then the elected officials will have to work within that budget.
Okay.
So
And
they
they'll
would
make those
ultimately be
decisions.
making the decisions.
Gotcha. And so I think what I was thinking is instead of having to make all those decisions right now, what I was hearing you guys work through is that would make sense.
Yeah, we
So
need to make a lot of the decisions
Mhm.
today because we're on,
You guys have to
we're on a
timeframe.
schedule.
Yeah,
Yep.
gotcha.
What, Charlie?
So like in public safety,
Yep.
instead of doing, I know, leaving everybody else at 10 and putting them at 5, what does that do? What I'm hearing you say, Jessica, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that by them choosing those percentage to put in their reserves, having like BLM or one of these bigger, larger companies that are probably going to protest their taxes, we're putting everything else at risk because there isn't going to be anything there to run should they win
That's correct.
and not
No, it's
have
a
to
huge,
pay those
it's
taxes.
a huge issue. So those, they should be 33%, but not in 1 year. There's no way I would ever even expect that to happen. They should be 33%, and the reason why you have it is for those years that people protest and you don't get revenue like
Right.
you're supposed to.
Mhm.
You well know that.
So how did, at 10%, which is what you had up there to begin with, or were you figuring 3 years
100.
to get back to the 33%, or
I
was
wasn't
there
really
was
figuring.
there just a?
No, I
No?
just think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I do too.
For this
I do
year.
too.
And then next year, maybe, we could go in increments of 8. I guess it really just depends on how everything turns out.
Because it's funny, because if you look at that general fund, even at 10%, it's okay.
That's because I've changed the heck out of it. That's because I've reallocated all of the local option county tax that used to go to the hospital and all sorts of other funds. So there's $88,000 of that in that fund now. There's state entitlement money that's in that fund now. There's a lot of different things going on in that fund.
So does that still have to be, so does some of that money still have to be allocated to those places?
No.
So they can keep all of their money in the general fund, keep it at 10%.
And what can happen though, see, is let's say the general fund right now it looks okay. The reason why that looks okay is because of the allocation. We've given it much more revenue from other sources that
Right.
it didn't used to get.
Right.
And then the other thing is there's a PILT transfer in there. The remaining amount of PILT. So PILT, there's 3 transfers for PILT. PILT goes to pay for all of PERS because we have no mills to do that anymore. So PILT pays for all of PERS. It pays for the deficit for our health insurance, so the permissive medical levy. And then the remaining amount in PILT goes and it's transferred to the general fund. But it could be like, it doesn't have to be. I mean, so we could pull that transfer out and we could use that and pay for comprehensive insurance instead. A lot of different ways to do it. So I wouldn't look at it kind of on a fund basis. I almost would look at it in total.
Okay.
And I think that's why I did it this way, because it is in total, because it's so you can move so much around,
Right.
you know?
I understand. Yep. Okay.
But I like your idea a lot of the reserve, so start there.
Yeah, I
Then
do
you get
too.
the amount.
But with the reserve part, I think we need to try and determine here today
Or
as to,
our goal.
are
How
we gonna
to-
go
how are
3
we gonna
years,
go?
5 years?
I think that's
You know-
a good idea.
I mean, those numbers look a lot better when you change that to 5%. If you changed them all to 5%,
Yeah,
we
5%.
wouldn't-
Yeah, that would be really.
you know.
But yes.
But you're gonna be
Yeah.
out there, what?
Yep.
10 years? Just
Well,
guessing.
Yeah, I think I think you guys need to shoot for 10% the first year.
So if they shoot for 10 and then,
I mean, and if we, and if we fall short, then we fall short, but at least we have a good goal. And then you could take, so then you have 23% divided by, I don't know, 4.
No, is that equivalent to a 10% reduction in your budgets then?
Kind of.
Kind of.
But we have things to offset it though, right? So it's not, because we collected $176,000 more. And this is nothing new, Tim. I mean, so we collected $176,000 more in mills, because our mill value went up. So we have new money there, and then we have all of that county co-op tax, which is being reallocated. So it's not 10% for 10%, because we had a little reserve to begin with. That reserve should always be at 33%, but to get there, because we've spent it down, yes, now we actually do have to cut the budget to build it back up. Because we have to save. And that's all it's doing, it's just,
And that thing with the BPA, I mean, that's a very realistic.
very
that
much so.
protest,
And another thing you guys should look at is just simply look at just revenue versus expenditures. So in the general fund, we have 1.1 million in revenue, 1.2 in expenditures. So see, that's not good. Even though I've, funneled a lot of money into that fund, that's not good.
We're still spending money.
And public safety,
and we always end up back right here.
yeah.
And I mean, that is the biggest drain. What would that number look like if they had 2 people working there? I mean,
Yeah.
we've got more people working in public safety right now than we've had in a long, long time, I think, since I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, we don't have the money to pay them. They want raises, they want this, they want that, and it just keeps going on, and nobody seems to understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, if we did it over, so if we started at 10%, and then that would give us like 23% to go. We could do it over 4 years or something, and that would be like a 5.75. To have a 5-year, try to get it back in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
At what percent would it be obtained in 5 years?
5.75.
For all the funds, or for?
no, 10%, but an increase of 5.75 every
For
year.
the next 4 years.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you're looking at $180,000.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just, so
back to the
let's
square.
just start, do you want to start there or at 9? What do you guys?
Well, and then the general fund, you have it at 13 on this page. Were you gonna make that be 10? Or-
It is 10 on mine.
Okay.
We've already changed
Oh,
it.
well,
Well-
she said 180,000, so I thought we're going back to the first page.
I found 50 that we can cut from data processing.
Well, what are you holding that back for? Okay,
So-
so what, should I put, just for now, we can change it.
Yeah.
But for now, should we put
Go
10 in?
straight, yeah.
Okay.
I,
Okay. So 129.
Okay, that's better than 180.
Okay, so let's look at the expenditure side. So is there anything on, I guess, page 1 that, other than Charlie's increase?
Sorry.
For the legal
Legal
fund.
services, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really.
But we've spent
And
10
then-
already. We've got lawsuit now pending. We're still not done with the union. I
Yeah.
don't think it's smart.
Don't know, yeah.
It's gonna happen.
We'll look at salaries last. Do you think? We'll just look at all of the supplies and other items, not salaries first, right? Okay.
What about justice court supplies?
I thought they all looked.
Those are good?
I'm just I'm on page 4. I haven't seen anything that seems super. Charlie, feel free to.
So Stacy currently has 8,000 in elections for supplies and 4,000 in clerk and recorders for supplies. Does that seem?
I thought she's got 3,000 in supplies and.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
she does. She does. She has 3.
Yeah, 3. What's your data processing?
Oh, my data processing ones.
Where, yeah, what page is that one?
Page 5.
So hardware,
Mm-hmm.
we can go down to 20,000.
Okay.
And that's because we found all these computers.
Nice. Okay.
We found quite a bit of stuff. And then on the software,
I don't think you can go down that much, can you?
I thought we could go, well, because we added some stuff to Black Mountain that
But
we,
you already took it off at the
10,000?
last meeting.
Took 10,000 off last time.
So now you have 48.
okay. I didn't think we had taken that off yet. So I lie, I only found 20.
So I understood.
We can do 5 though on consultants. We can take 2,500 off, another 2,500 on consultant services.
So take another 25, so
Yeah.
make it 5,000?
Mhm.
Yep.
Why do you say?
Well, because in talking to Garrett, he's gonna come out and he's gonna fix the health department server because we paid all this money for a server that they're not even utilizing yet. And so he thinks that if he comes out and he does that, they'll be able to remote more. So that money that we're paying on for
Travel.
purchase services, they won't have to come out as much because it'll be included in that contract where they can just pick up the phone and call and they can remote in and fix it.
Okay. Just like, so in 14, we spent 15,000. In 16, we spent 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you really want to go
Yep.
down more?
Mhm.
Okay. 5,000.
Yeah.
Go to 5. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You get rid of, how about capital outlay?
Yeah, you can get rid of that.
You're not going to do any big purchases over
Nope.
5,000?
Nope, anything we've done, we've budgeted for in that $20,000 hardware one.
Above.
Mhm.
So
So that would
10,000
be
out of
zero.
capital?
Yep. And we'll just have to be careful with what we have.
So, now, on the next one there, election salaries, how do we account for the increase from 12-13 to year 15-16? What was that?
General election.
No, what happened was, she's, Stacy, and I don't know why she's doing it this way, but she's allocating all of her pay and her clerk's pay 50-50. between the clerk and recorder and elections. I don't really, I don't know why, but that's what she's doing. So if you were to look at them in total, it should still be roughly the same. It's actually, and it's down because she's, because the finance person is now in a different department.
Oh, yeah.
So in total, they're about the same, and then our budget for this year is less because there's one less person. I do think that supplies, maybe, oh, I guess maybe it's okay.
Cut her by 7 last time.
Yeah, well, she said that. That was per
Yeah.
her.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's fine, because it is, she probably will need quite a bit of supplies, I would think.
With this election year.
Yes.
On page 8, under Rory's maintenance budget, on repair and maintenance,
Where is this, Charlie? Page 8.
page 8,
Okay,
360.
okay.
It says it includes 3,000 for data processing.
For wire, this is what we talked about for running
Mhm.
wire. We were gonna put that under his budget.
I don't think you need to.
No.
No, I think you can cut that.
Okay.
So it's not necessary at this.
No, we've got some wiring to do, but I've already budgeted for it and it's in there and we've got it. We've got, Jen has some money from a grant that's going to cover a little bit of it, so we're okay there. And what about the capital outlay one on that one? Do we still think that that's a necessary thing this year?
Capital outlay for Roy.
Yeah, putting a
For the
new
building.
roof on the.
Oh, yeah, maybe we could forestall that again, huh? Put it off.
It's up to you guys.
But what's,
You been in the vault?
Yes. Ask
You should
Nicole
go
and
down
I.
Take a look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's been that way for,
But maybe he just does the shelves.
yeah, but you gotta keep them dry.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
is it leaking in an entire building or just one side?
Just, I don't know. I'm not
Because maybe
sure.
they could park the.
Can't we get some, sealant or something and?
I don't
Oh, they
know.
talked about that once, but
Or
that guy
just-
wanted a
I
big
mean-
chunk of money to do that even. Remember, he was
Well,
gonna
I'd be fine where
paint
the
that
leaks
stuff.
are and just take some
Well, what
silver
about-
seal or whatever and,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what,
Band-aid it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I remember once he was gonna
And that
have that
safety
guy
money
come
that's
from
there on
Hamilton.
page 8.
And that was like a
also.
special process.
Yeah.
What about just paying
we'll
a,
just get some
a
silver
roofing
seal.
guy to go
I
up
mean,
there
we've
and-
done that on
Maybe
our
you could
own
just put that
metal
into the
roofs,
commissioner's
for crying out
salaries.
loud.
We can put that towards salaries.
Don't you
is
have
Roy
to
out
do
there
that?
mowing?
No, it can be used on salaries. I can get a clarification for you first, though.
He likes to
Oh,
hear
well,
that
yeah,
lot
tell them.
more on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
Okay, so what are we at on the, what are you guys thinking on capital outlay for Roy?
He's
Why
gonna
do
go
just
grab
the-
Roy, I
the-
think.
I don't think,
Oh,
I
we're
think
getting
he's
Roy.
gone.
Okay.
Roy, he's mowing the
Oh,
lawn.
he's mowing the lawn.
Oh, I can, yeah. Okay.
He
so
just
let's
can't help it.
revisit that.
No, that's a,
He likes to, he likes
likes to
it.
hear
Go
the
on, so, talk about that next one while we're waiting for Roman to.
Okay, on the safety program,
Which is
it's
page
his,
8, you guys, it's $1,548.
it's historically been used for, to give, you know, like little incentives to employees and stuff,
Mhm.
but maybe we can roll it into salaries, you know?
I don't think so. I thought it was only
I'm pretty sure you can use it for salaries, but I can get clarification.
salaries for what?
Put it back into the commissioner's budget, so when I'm doing stuff for safety, it's paying for it.
Oh,
I thought that's why it was set aside, was so that it was specifically used for the safety program.
Well, that's the way it was set up, but I don't think that there's a,
has to be.
like, it has to be that way. I mean, it's
So-
only $1,548, but,
Well, I think it, you know, where we had the,
health fair and,
health fair, I mean, I think, you know, what, a lot of people went to it, you
Mhm.
know, and it was kinda nice to, I don't know.
Yeah, I was under the understanding that that's why you set it up that way, was so that it was used specifically for that, because in the big picture, it pays for itself, whether it specifically pays for your salary or not when you're doing that stuff, but in the long run, it pays dividend back to you for
mhm.
reducing your work comp rating.
How about, okay, so maybe just leave it like that then.
Okay.
Page 8, civil defense.
And what is that?
That's George Gupton. Maybe his supplies.
See, and this is still higher than I think it's supposed to be.
What is George?
This 8528, I don't think he has that much in there.
Well, that's his salary. That's
From
what
the
we're paying
grants?
him. No, that's just what he's contracted, what we pay him.
So that's a completely separate, okay.
On the revenue side is where I decreased it.
Okay. I don't know what he needs for supplies, but he can share with me. I don't know what he needs, but
Yeah. Does somebody want to suggest a number, or are we good with it, or just keep moving on?
for 90, he can have 500.
So he said that the side where he wants to build the shelves is the side that does not leak. The other side where the sheriff's office has evidence which can be leaked upon is like trailers and bumpers or whatever. So, but the other thing is we can't cut the entire 45 grand because
Oh, and 30,000
Yeah,
of it
well,
is
yeah, he's
HVAC.
got the 2 units for the jail.
There's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
We can leave that 30,000 in there
Right.
to fix that and that.
and so then he said a little bit more for the building of the shelves or whatever. So we could probably get by with cutting that 45 by $10,000 or $12,000 down to 30 something or rather 33, 35,
35 maybe.
Yeah, 35,000.
Yeah, 35.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because he mentioned the units too for the cooling, heating, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and there probably ain't no arguing with that price.
Yeah.
Of course,
Okay.
wintertime's coming on, they shouldn't need it.
But that's what, so I guess the problem is though, is that it's the air circulation and it's like
Oh.
an airtight, so, yeah.
Might need a little air. They know how to bore holes through the window.
Yeah, they've done
I've
that
seen them
before.
do it.
That's all they need. That'll be good.
So on George's supplies, you know, I don't know exactly what it is that he needs, but he can share with me. You could,
Oh,
and
he's got
civil
how much
defense.
in there?
Page 8.
1490?
Second to the bottom line.
Oh, yeah, 1490. And he doesn't hardly,
I don't know.
one year, I guess he spent 4,700.
It probably wasn't supplies.
14, okay.
Probably. You guys want to change that one, or?
I'd say chop it 500.
So maybe just go to like 1,000.
Mhm.
Okay, they're doing good. Okay.
Public health services.
I think
they cut.
I think they look pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, they did a really good job.
Good job of, yes,
Ladies in the office put their
Looking at
brains
this
to
nurse
it.
Yes.
retired
Really hard.
thing,
very much
we
so.
were talking last week, what was that, Viva? Is that what-
FIBA.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I talked to you about that, Jess, about.
Is that something worth, I mean, is that gonna save us any money?
So Viva is where the people, the employees, can elect to like change to Viva, and they
If you
don't.
haven't.
No, and then they don't have to pay into Viva. The only
There's an explanation of it on the
Yeah.
main
Yeah, they
newsletter.
talked
This
about
last
it.
time was the only thing I
it's
got.
kind of becoming more popular. What do you know about it, Charlie?
So in order to do it, what I know about it is that the entity has to elect into it, and then you
It's
actually.
done by the people,
It's,
I think the
it's
people
done
have to
by the
vote.
company.
the employees.
If you're a union, you have to vote, but not if you're not. The company can elect it, but you have to pay.
Who has to pay?
The company, you pay like $1,000 to set it up, and then,
But does it save you money is what
I don't know, this is
I
the,
thought that was,
I don't know.
Missouri County has like a couple of their unions. There's a couple of their unions do Viva. It's the only time I've ever ran into it. And maybe we just need to look into it some more.
yeah.
Yeah.
I lie, I do know that it does save money, because I did go to one of those.
That's what I thought you
What is
said.
it?
Yeah.
How does it say?
You
What
might
is
want
it?
to
So
explain
because
what
you-
it is, so
so
that
a-
these guys know.
So Aviva is like instead of paying when an employee retires, instead of, they can elect to put it into a Aviva account, and then they don't have to pay so much in taxes. The employer doesn't have to pay so much in taxes or in retirement or those kinds of things. And
If you
it,
go on to Mako's newsletter, I don't know, you can probably get that on your email. They've got an explanation of it in their newsletter there that explains it real well. But if somebody had $20,000, use Tim for an example. If he had $20,000 and he went to retire, he had 20 coming, when we pay him out, he gets what? 10? Half, about half, wasn't it?
70%.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
with this Viva, you would get it all.
Interesting.
And supposedly it would save the county money. I was curious as to how, or how much, I guess.
I think if we had, I don't know. How many times, I
Well,
think you'd
it'd
have
be
to look
worth-
at how many times you have somebody retire, actually retire.
Are
You
we
know.
on page 11, or did you advance?
We were
We're
talking
still
about
on
Viva.
9.
Oh, on 9. Oh, the health people, yeah. I skipped ahead to 11. On page 11, Jessica, where it's weed control, account 222, it says agriculture and horticulture. You see how that one's been bouncing all over the place? One year is 5,600, then,
1 sec, let me get back to it. I was
Oh.
looking at Viva.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. So what page are we on?
11,
11.
the weed control.
222, is that what you were?
Yeah, agriculture, horticulture, 222 fund. 1 year is 5,600, next year it's 34,000, next year it's 27 and 24. What's making
I think
that?
those are his chemical supplies.
So one year he was able to get by with 5,600.
He must have bought a ton, right, in the year before,
And they do that.
Mhm.
and so he just had a bunch of inventory.
I was wondering if that could be cut or not, but maybe that 22,000 is kind of the average of the others. I don't know. And then my other vehicle maintenance is already. I guess he already cut his supply. He didn't have a big budget, very big budget, I guess.
Still 8,000 over, so I'll get it back done. I mean, if you go by that.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Purchase services, 9,000.
I think that's this weed sprayer guy, isn't it? I don't know.
What page are you on?
Page 11.
Probably, yeah,
Or
there's
is that
a
under salaries?
contractor
I don't
that
know.
that
So it's the
sprays the
actual
right of way.
applicant.
Mm.
But isn't his out of salaries though? Because he's a.
He's paid
seasonal-
salary unless there's somebody else he
Yeah.
contracts
Well,
with.
yeah,
But
he
his
used to
is-
use the guy out of Butte.
Yeah, he bids it out every year.
Yeah, and then he also uses that local guy for the little roads, back roads. Deep Creek, Sawmill Gulch. But his weed, he's got more revenues than he does expenditures. 69.5 in revenue and 69,000. But yeah, the ending cash is still a little bit.
One thing with weed is, do you remember the utilities? Remember the phone, oh, Roman
yeah.
kind of missed it, but there was, that
Mhm.
phone issue, how they're allocating so much phone
Yeah.
to him. Two
Mm.
units of phone and.
It was a
um,
lot.
So I think I talked to Stacy about it, and I guess it's been that way forever. It's not new. And the reason why is because there wasn't any money in extension at the time, years ago. There wasn't any money in extension, so extension just paid the long distance, and weed paid for the 2 units, for the weed and for extension. And so that's the reason why there's 2. It's kind of some history behind it. So, I mean, you could change that a little bit, but the majority also of that, let me show you, of that utility, that couple $1,000s in utilities, it's water and sewer fees.
Really? From the city of Superior?
Yeah.
Once they fix that leak on the faucet over there, it's been leaking for years and years.
Which one was that?
Who did the roof on your building?
My room? On the apartments?
Yeah.
The survey?
Oh, I was wondering why you whipped that on
Oh, yeah. So that whole thing was $1,400 to have. So this is the utility. So you can see the phone. But it's also, do you see a lot of the town of Superior?
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly that phone. You know, it's $240 a month.
Oh, that seems a lot.
It
That's
does-
a business phone? Is that why it's so?
Yeah, and so Nicole hasn't been here this week, but next week I'm gonna have her, we're gonna go over that when she's back and look at that and maybe change the whole allocation. Cause it just seems $240 for,
Basically 580 a month for over there. I mean, you're going by times 2, right?
No, that is times 2.
Oh,
So
that
he's
is?
paying for extension.
Oh, it's been everything.
Oh, I see, then it's
Because
separate
he
money.
had more money at one point. The weed did, but now nobody has any money. It's equal across the board, right? So, but that's why it's so high. So, but I think I will revisit that next week and just see. But I mean, the thing is, so we could move some of it to extension.
But extensions in the hole too.
Yeah.
So.
We need to get a better rate on the phone, unless that's all long distance adding up there.
I think long distance is paid for out of extension.
I can't, those phone bills look like, because they look like it's, well, one month it's 233, next one it's 247, and so it seems like there's
256.
variables in there.
The other, so on the little phone allocation
Mhm.
page, it has weed, 2 units, and then the balance goes to the weed fund of whatever, so maybe that's why. It's
Oh.
just, yeah, like, so to get it to balance, whatever
Mhm.
the balance figure is, it all hits the weed, so. But then it's funny, cause I was asking, I think like the clerk and recorder, I think she pays 1 unit. Or so it's just, it doesn't seem equitable to me. I just need to spend time and look at it. Cause that wouldn't make sense. I mean, the volume,
No.
it just doesn't make sense. So, but it's been that way for a long time. It wasn't something new. So, but I'll spend some time on that next week. But that might help a little bit in the weed, you know, if we can, if it's a bundle, you know, of money for the weed. But do we want it?
Jessica, where does the phone cost reflect in our budget?
Utilities. 340.
But we don't see utilities in our budget, right?
You
Spreadsheet.
would have it. Maybe, yeah, you would have it.
340, is that the fund count number? Yeah, 340.
No, but I mean, like individual departments are getting charged for the phone.
That's correct. And it's in your budget. I've been told it's always done, it has always been done that way. But then it makes me a little suspect, because if you look at, if it's always been done that way in July, August, and September, how come there's no phone bill? And then in October it starts. Do you see? So, I don't know. So it's always, like I said, I just need to spend time on it. Okay. Oh, purchase services, that's what, I wanted to look up that. That's what I was gonna do. Oh, so it is. It's an outside person.
Primary weed control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pioneer, that's the guy's name on the beat.
Okay. So,
He does the interstate, the county has to take care of the interstate for some reason.
okay. What about travel for Dave? Does he need to, that's more than he's ever traveled. Fund 2140?
Mm-hmm. I thought it was under 370.
I'm sorry. So page 11, object code 370.
Okay.
Fund 2140.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the years passed, well, I guess only 1 year he came close. So we could, should we just let him be an even 3,000, cause in 15-16 it was only 2,100.
Right. Yeah, 3,000 or 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
You can just not go to so many.
I would say probably 2,500.
Okay, yeah, 2,500, yeah.
So I'm on the fair, page 12.
Me too. I was gonna ask you, what happened with contract services and then out of supplies? What was that? That's a lot of money. Is that what they had in there before? 35,000? On the very bottom line.
So that's their total budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what they did is, at that budget meeting, they had, $20,000 in supplies. But in that supply figure really is that entertainment, and so we
Mhm.
wanted to break it down a little
Right.
more. So, their final supply number, according to them,
Mhm.
is 5,000 in supplies
Okay.
and 11,000 in contract services. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
but you could so I think the fair needs to kind of step up a little bit, and they need to be a little more maybe proactive in raising money and doing other things.
Yeah. And I was wondering, on their 360 line, repair and maintenance, how come was there a reason why that bumped up to 5,000?
Nothing in particular, so we could sure decrease
Because
that.
that was never that amount before. or was it?
Where's that, Ron?
360
Line
repair and
360.
maintenance?
Oh,
Did we tell them they could have extra money to fix the toilet or something? Or?
well, I'm sure they're thinking about that. Cont'd hut.
Yeah, but
Why did we change it? Let's see. Now let's look at the fair.
because the change was $3,500
No,
more.
this is the problem with the fair. So, the reason that changed, that had nothing to do with our preliminary budget hearing.
Okay.
What happened with them, they were the one department that didn't bring me a budget in time,
Oh, that's right.
right?
Yeah.
So they brought the
She brought
budget
it
in
in,
here
yeah.
the day of.
Mm-hmm.
And so those changes now reflect what she's asking for.
Oh,
They weren't something that we did. So, yes, so it's not as if we had said, yeah, we'll give you 3,500. I'm just adjusting it to what they were asking for.
and I'm trying to remember when she was here, did she have a rationale for, or did she even mention that increase? I know they've got problems over there with the Quonset hut and the plumbing.
I think that Quonset hut was the main issue,
But we're trying to get that.
she was in here that Friday that Lori wasn't here, right? I think so. Couple
She
weeks
was
ago.
here the Friday I wasn't here. When I was on vacation, she and the treasurer both came down on that Friday.
That's right.
So there's no reason given. They just put 5,000. So. The other thing you guys could think about, because I've been thinking a lot about the fair, and it seems like the Lions Club really gets to make out on the deal. So they get to sell beer every evening while the fair, make all of the money from the entertainment.
Mhm.
And then the fair pays for the entertainment.
Mhm.
Why doesn't the Lions Club pay for the entertainment?
And this year they did on Friday night. They paid for the Friday night band.
Paid for part of it.
I was gonna say part, because they,
Oh, really? They
I
didn't
don't
pay
think
for-
so.
I don't know, I don't know.
think they increased, didn't he say, or didn't she say that they increased their contribution this year?
But they were gonna give them $2,000.
Cause I kept telling her, you gotta go back to these people and tell them you need more money.
Mhm.
And she just, she didn't wanna acknowledge that statement.
But the other thing is that music is all day long. It's not just at the night. I mean,
The ones at night are the big ones, though.
well, I know, but they're
So they could
proportional. I mean,
maybe they could pay for the ones at night, the expensive ones
The
that
big
cost
beer drinking
$3,000.
Yeah.
yeah, but do they get?
Or they need
or
to-
do they have a say in who it is?
Well, I think they would I don't know, I'm not
Yeah.
the fair manager, but I'm just
I
saying,
know,
they
but-
need to look at. We're not making, there's no money, there's no revenue being generated, minimal revenue being generated from that. So either maybe we need to the fair needs to sell their own beer after the rodeo, or I don't know, I mean, or they need to split the cost a little better, because it seems like the Lions Club is, really, I mean,
what-
making out on this
What's the
deal.
expectations that the Lions Club do with that money?
They supposedly buy little kids things throughout the year that
I
they
think
need.
it's up to them, I have no
Well, they
idea,
do
we have no
that.
say on
Don't
what they.
Don't they have to maintain the rodeo grounds and?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And do they do scholarships also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they do the food baskets and.
Yeah, they do
Thank- yeah.
Thanksgiving
Stuff like that
and
So
Christmas.
throughout.
yeah, they do have to take care of the rodeo, and they have to take care of the contractor coming in here and all that.
Maybe the fair's gonna have to start charging $1 a person to come through the gate. I don't know, you know, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, at the
They just-
bigger fairs, do they charge at all?
Oh, yeah.
Like Missoula? and those
Missoula
things,
has-
just because
Plains
they-
only does
Plains
Plains
does.
doesn't charge to walk through the gate.
But they do,
Right,
they
but
do,
they have
they
rides.
charge you to
They
get
charge
into
rodeo.
the, and the demo derby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
lots-
make
pay
money on
pretty
that.
dearly. I mean, you know,
Lots of concession stands
Yeah.
they get charged or charged for. So so on the fairs, how about repairs and maintenance, that 360 then?
Yeah, we could cut that, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I
For
don't
what?
remember, my memories, would you remember Dwayne, if she had any reason why that?
well, I know the Quonset hut was a discussion, you know, but I guess my thought on that is, and we just did it with that building right there. You know, we're gonna push this stuff aside. We do have insurance if something happens to these buildings. It does pay for things like that.
Yeah, but-
We have had that experience.
But the Quonset hut, there is people inside.
Oh, I
the
know.
Quonset hut.
There's
So that's
people
where I'm
in all
worried
of them.
about the ceiling caving in on somebody and then.
Had that
you know.
accident at the extension office happened when there
Oh,
was
when they
people
were
in
in
there,
there.
somebody would've got
Yeah.
killed. And that's the risk that we're taking by not
By not
maintaining-
doing maintenance. Yeah, no, maintenance it's really important, I mean,
It
to
is.
budget for that, and it's, you know,
Yeah, and we've been really, really slack.
pushing it off. right?
Yeah, cause we, you know, I mean, it is big ticket items. That Quonset hut, they're not gonna give that away, you know, and it is part of the grant that Tim wrote
Yeah,
there,
so
but
eventually,
whether,
mhm.
you know, that's a long ways down the road yet. I don't know. But I know that was part of her
Well, maybe we could
discussion.
cut it by 1,000 anyway, I mean,
Take it to 4, yeah, take it to 4, and then,
Yeah,
what do you think, are you guys,
well, I didn't like it that she didn't bring that budget in till the day she
The
came
day
in here,
of, yeah.
you know, I mean, but I don't know if that justifies. That Quonset hut's been a discussion with them every time they come in, and not just them, you know, other people come in, because they do use it so much. It's a rotten deal.
we can take 1,000 off anyway, see if it helps.
we're good with
Yeah.
the 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go 4,000. How about entertainment, are we gonna leave them,
Well, I think you got a good point there. I don't know. I guess the Lions Club may not feel that way. We may be having a conversation with them down the road.
Where do we see entertainment?
Under
It's
contract.
under
Read
contract.
oh, I'm sorry.
They pulled it out of supplies. Were you here that day she came in, Lauren?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I did. I thought you were going to.
I guess it's just kind of difficult when
Deb Davis came in and talked with us.
You know, I think that's a good analysis, for
What's
sure.
that?
I just said it's really difficult to explain to employees when you're laying them off that we still have money that we're given to the fair, and, you
Yeah.
know, I think
Yeah.
that's the
But we don't give very much to the fair.
I think, you know, I almost think that
35,000. You give $35,000 to the fair, that's to, you know, at least a full-time employee.
2.44 mils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you look at, you've got a lot of kids in 4-H and.
No, it's a
You
great
know, I mean,
program.
it's- Oh,
but I
it's-
think
I
they
don't
need
know.
to get out there and
That's-
fundraise it a little better.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
know,
I
they
tried
need to come up
tell
with
her.
other revenue sources. It seems to me after that meeting that they're just very comfortable with just give me the money You know, they're not thinking out of the box. They're like, you know, the health department. They
Yeah.
really thought out of the box and they went out of their way to come up with a good budget and ideas. I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
fair needs,
Yeah, I tried to explain to her, Lori, that, you know, when I was president of the community club in St. Regis, come 4th of July, you went around and you begged every business for a contribution. Then you went back the next week and you begged them again, and 3 times.
Well,
You
you look
know,
at the
the
hospital.
third time was for the fireworks, you know,
Yeah.
and you felt about that tall when you went in there, but
third
they
time.
always give,
Yeah.
you know.
But you look at the hospital, you know, I mean, they're at railroad days, I mean, they're selling
Yeah,
their
and the-
Vikings and
yep.
their, you know, I mean, they're,
And I'm sure if they sat down with the Lions Club and, you know, the Lions Club doesn't want to see it go away either.
no.
No,
And so
nobody wants to
I
see
bet
it
you
go
that they
away.
would step up and help more, but $35,000, that's a
Somebody
lot.
told me that there was a few of them telling everybody over there this year that was gonna be the last fair.
who was saying that? Oh, who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't.
So maybe, you know, maybe just look at cutting that 11,000 down some, and then they'll make up the difference.
Yeah.
It's
Because
amazing how that
doesn't-
happens.
That doesn't just include the infamous Kelly Hughes, that's including all the little guys all afternoon playing their banjos and stuff.
That would be my understanding. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
that's-
so take that from 11 down to what, 9? 8?
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I paid, or saw the claims, and, I mean, we paid a couple of huge checks to just cleaning, or after each evening, just kind of cleaning up the garbage around there, you know, they might have to get some of their fair people to volunteer to pick up the garbage after each night.
Okay, give me a number.
Cut it in half.
5,500.
Good job, Dwayne.
I don't know if that'll pay for Kelly Hughes, will it?
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll have to.
Mhm.
Do you agree, or
I think,
where are we at?
let's make it be $7,200.
72?
72?
Man,
Okay.
you drive a hard car.
You big old softy.
I know, that's why I like the little bulldog.
I know.
He goes to one extreme.
I like it.
Okay. Very good. District Court.
Changing from those first 3 pages.
There's not a whole lot you can do with district court
No,
from a supply standpoint and all of that, at
you know,
least.
the government mandates you have to do this.
Yeah.
Do that.
Comprehensive
that-
insurance, page 15, you can't do anything with that.
We will next year.
Oh, good, okay.
We will
yes.
next year.
Library.
Oh, this is our liability insurance. We can't do anything with that.
Oh,
Oh,
Maybe we
might have
can.
to increase.
Maybe.
I was thinking our health insurance.
oh, yeah, that one we can, that would be helpful. Okay, page 16, library.
fun.
Oh, the library.
So the library, they've already cut their budget quite a bit. So if you look at their preliminary, it was at 89, and then they did send me a bunch of changes, kind of cutting their own budget, so it decreased to 81,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, 80. I'm sorry, 81,000. Yeah, 892. So I don't know if you could do something like, say, look at their library books.
Mhm. Because it seems like a lot of people use the library now for the computers
Just more of the
Yeah.
computer stuff.
and magazines. I don't know who goes and reads Fur Fishing Game at the library, but they still buy magazines like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unless Tim goes and checks out that man. Fur Fishing Game.
I have.
Yeah.
So supplies and
There's so much stuff online anymore that.
Oh, all of it is, yeah.
It's all.
I think we should cut him another 4,000.
so look at
Where, Where would you suggest
Let's start
that?
on 210.
Well, like she said, give them the number, they have a board, let them
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna cut them 4,000 and they can decide as a board where those cuts occur.
Yep, you're right.
Because look at their previous years, they were getting by with 72,000 in the year 14-15, 74,000. Why are they needing 82,000?
Unless it comes to an employee, I'd rather just kind of make the decision right now, and if they want to move the money around later, that would be fine. But I don't want to wait for them to meet with their board and then to let me know, and then, because I have to have this all done and updated and up to the clerk and recorders to be viewed by the public. I mean, if it has something to do with personnel, then I agree with April, but ultimately, we can tell them. So if we cut you 2,000 here, would you rather move it there? That's fine, but
Well, I think he's right about the books.
so books, what should books? So 8,200. Do you want to go to? What do you guys think?
He said 4.
4. So that's just the books are going to 4. Okay. Because I have a couple. I'm thinking look at supplies. I don't know. Maybe that's okay.
Yeah, they only had 3,000. Oh, no, wait, I was looking, yeah, 3,000 in 14, 15, and then they jumped up to 82. Why not?
Probably computers. Is that where she pays for her computers out of? I remember her one time saying they had to buy some new computers.
It all comes out of IT.
It's all going to come out of
okay.
IT now, though, because people are buying bad computers. So now everything comes out of IT.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think.
Well, we could cut the supplies probably another 1,000 because the year before was 8,000. So.
Yeah, but wasn't it
That
computers
includes-
or something in there?
Oh, I see. Maybe we can go 2,000 because the year before they had 3,500 in there.
Let's see.
I think it'd be a $7,000. Because I'm trying to think what else because they have 3 buildings that they're buying supplies for: Alberton, St. Regis, Superior.
Superior buys or St. Regis Library buys all the supplies, so I don't know what that's about.
All the school does.
Mm-hmm. Oh, subscriptions.
So under supplies, they have some magazines.
Oh yeah. Okay, then we can do that because they don't need to buy Women's Day. I mean, really?
Dated.
News.
DIS, that's DIS.
Okay.
I've been getting a free subscription to Oprah that I would donate to him.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
Did
that's,
you
Yeah, that's a
sign
good
up?
idea. Maybe
when I'm done
ask
with my magazines, I give them to my
Magazines we
neighbor.
could take down
Yeah.
there and
Do they pay? What's the 2,700 to DIS?
I have no idea what that is.
Probably some kind of a computer thing.
Did they call and do something?
can you click on?
Oh, I guess we could.
Claim 300.
30075.
Well, I refuse to double click on it and.
No.
Oh, did
Not there.
No.
Not when you run the report.
Oh, okay, 'cause
I bet you it's something to do with their computers.
Look at everybody turns their head.
Yeah.
It'll turn. Ah.
Let's see. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Tab. What is? Do you know what that is? What's going on? Dell external.
USB and slim DVD and optical.
Clicking.
None of
There
those.
it is. This one.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
some
why.
Computer tower.
So they bought a mini tower. So they're buying equipment out of it.
Yeah, and no, they're not doing
So-
that anymore. I told Guna not to.
I think that one can go way down.
Okay.
So they're buying equipment and magazines.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Did you sign me up for Oprah?
on the board.
I think Joe did.
Yeah.
He's like, Dwayne really would like this magazine.
I've done as gags sent, people up for magazine subscriptions.
I forgot what line we were. Oh, supply. Yeah, from 8,200 down to 4,000.
Save more. No.
Well, we're doing 4,000 in books, so 4,000.
Okay, so 4,000. So go to 4,000.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
a total of 8,000 now in the library.
Right. And we just have to remind them that they are no longer buying their own equipment.
Right.
And that should help with that.
Yeah.
This is fair supplies. Oh, that's good, okay.
Yeah.
Planning services, Tim Reed.
Utilities. Oh, I wanted to go back and look at utilities, 340 for fair. That one doesn't make sense to me.
For the fair? On the library or on
I don't even know, why did I even have 4,000 as preliminary? What is that about?
Oh, are you talking about the library?
Oh, I'm sorry, library, page
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, they had 1,000 throughout the years, and then you went to 4,000.
I don't even know, yeah, I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. I wonder if that was supposed to be 1,000.
Yeah, what would they have for utilities?
Let's look.
Maybe they're
Do
starting
they
to buy the
probably pay part
computers.
of the water, sewer and water for the library? No. Well, why does the,
No, we
why
pay
does
all
the?
that.
We pay all that.
We pay all that.
Yeah,
Well,
we,
no, but we pay, we
I'm just
pays
joking.
part of those sewer and water.
I don't know, we'll pull up a line detail here and. Blackfoot, internet. Library upkeep, St. Regis School.
So phone.
It's gotta be internet and phone. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe it's okay.
Oh, because of the utilities for the internet?
So 3,000, it's probably okay, never mind. And see, if it's so consistent, something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because how can it be 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and then goes up to 2781? What's
$1,700.
the library upkeep?
I have no idea. Watch, I probably signed it.
It was
You're talking to sympathetic.
FMU school.
You're talking to sympathetic ears.
Thanks, Dwayne.
I hate to St. Regis School.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know. Well, your name's on it.
Oh, this is all we get. Whoops, sorry.
Too fast.
What does it?
924.15.
Are you paying for rent at the St. Regis School?
Oh, yearly payment to St. Regis for upkeep of library.
It must be
Some-
cleaning the library and stuff, maybe.
No, I don't know.
The damn St. Regis School raised the rates on us.
It's that new superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, so
Interesting.
this authorized, so like Guna, somebody would have to sign that nowadays, right?
Yep.
But interesting, okay. And it's just a claim, so I don't know about that either. Like they should send a bill.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out. And
Okay, so I think, after all, I think utilities are okay.
Okay.
We can figure out why they're gone up so much. But, okay.
Well, the St. Regis School Board had their budget meeting and they decided to get some more revenue.
That's right.
But there
And
was
we
that
decided that
$1,000.
$1,000 was gonna make or break us.
Yeah.
We never.
So,
our motto is we never run in the red.
That's
I'm on
right.
I'm on the termination leave of planning services.
Okay.
Did you ever hear from Bozeman yet?
Page 17.
Did you get nixed after my phone call?
We all called.
I told them what a rowdy guy you were.
Rowdy, I just said he was grumpy.
Grumpy?
Okay. Page 17, where are we at?
Termination leave.
Yeah.
Now,
We
that
could always-
$12,000 capital outlay, is that for the vehicle if we give?
Yeah, and Tom, oh, speaking of the car, then Tommy said that the reason that he's having the dispatcher drive it is so that the car stays battery charged, engine going good, and I asked, well, could we do an interval less than daily, and I said, but actually I said, Tim Reed kinda needs a car, and he goes, oh, well, yeah, Tim wants to use it, but he paid for the car out of his budget, so then we'd have to take 5,000 from somewhere else and give it to him for Tim to drive the car, have the car.
I don't think so. Cars depreciate in value.
Oh, yeah. that's
So,
true.
you
Oh,
would
yeah,
pay
you're
what he
Look
paid
where
for.
it came from. It's used.
Yeah, I think they paid 3,000 for the car.
Okay,
But either way, I don't think Tim wants a car. He needs a truck.
but if he
He's
had
an
the,
SUV.
Huh, Tim?
but if he had the car, well, that car is not a police package car.
No, but because Tim goes.
In the mountains.
I mean, yeah.
Well, no, what I mean is though, if we could get the ownership of the car to Tim, because it sounds like they're not gonna use it for cop cars, because it's not a police package.
Then
Doesn't-
we should sell it and get money back instead of letting employees drive cars.
Okay.
That's a good point.
I mean,
That's what I said.
we don't
Why
need
How
to
many
have
times?
excess cars.
Well, what if
They
we
need
give,
to
what if we
sell
let
them.
Tim have it, and then Tim can use the value of the car to trade in for something? Or sell it, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's an idea, but we definitely don't need employees driving
No.
cars.
No,
No.
That we don't need.
No.
so I think we
They
should
need
try
to
to
be
go
sold.
ahead
I was
and
asked
give it to
twice
Tim for
about that
now.
this week.
Yeah.
Give it to Tim for now, and then.
And the Razor, I heard the Razor was being driven around at 6 o'clock by a couple people. Yeah.
Where's it at?
I have no idea, but like that needs to, and that, it needs to be sold. You know, we don't need to pay insurance on it, don't need to maintain it, we don't need an extra car.
Plus the liability.
Yeah. So that's not, that needs to be like, that should be on an agenda, like this is what you're gonna do, because that's way over the top. And then I think there's another car, I've been told that Ronnie has another car, like an SUV.
Yeah.
Like that's
back here.
That's over the top.
That could be sold.
Yeah, I mean, that's over the top. We don't need to.
It's an old vehicle that they can't use to.
Right, so they should
Not
just
really.
sell
Well,
it.
we can,
It's-
get
they
rid of
can't
it.
I
do
mean, if
anything
we
with
get
it.
$500 for it, it's
And you don't have to pay
$500.
insurance on it.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's more savings than that. It's not, we definitely don't need extra vehicles, and we don't need extra cell phones, and, you know, everybody needs to think about that, and for us, that should just be volunteered at this point. So, but I personally think you guys should put that on the agenda and say, hey.
So then,
You're right.
is it, yeah, I think Tim should be using it until we can, I don't advertise for it or
Does Tim even
whatever,
want to drive
sell
it right now?
Huh?
Does Tim even want to drive it right now?
He told me that he
I thought we
does,
were gonna
but he
look more
wants a
at
set
the
of chrome wheels.
Well,
Weren't we looking
Yeah.
at the
And
weed
so a
truck
base
for
bump-
Tim?
And a base,
No,
yeah.
they use it.
but he does a lot of travel, like he just came from Great Falls, and he goes
Yep.
to Fairmont, and he goes to Oasis and does a establishment check, and Alberton Town. So a car, I'm thinking of the immediacy of getting the car to Tim and not being used for daily dispatch drives. And maybe we could go ahead and give the 3,000 to them, satisfy that, and then Tim has a car right now, and he could either trade it, sell it, or whatever, because they don't have an interest in it because it's not a police package.
But you're still gonna pay them for it.
We give them 3, Jessica thought was depreciation.
Like 3 is what they paid for
They
it.
paid 5.
Oh, they
paid-
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
you
what
just
their
pay them like
depreciation
low
is.
blue book or something, or, you know.
But then would you have to put a line item in Tim's budget for oil changes and those kinds of things?
Vehicle maintenance.
Vehicle maintenance.
I don't, you know, at this point, I don't, I don't know. I think at this point, we should let Tim, until his truck dies, I think we shouldn't do anything. I mean, I don't think we need to add a vehicle.
We have a car out there
That should just be
that should
sold.
not be driven by a dispatcher. Tim needs a car. So if we do nothing with
Okay,
Tim,
so we're
guess what
adding-
that car's gonna do? It's gonna be,
So we're gonna
we're gonna be
add,
butting heads trying to wrench the car away to sell it. Let's use the car for a good use and then have time to sell it, trade it, whatever. That's what I'm thinking, 'cause you know, what's gonna happen, what we ask for, and
Well, that makes sense. I mean, to me,
So where do they fuel, where does the sheriff's department get fuel?
usually at the Cenex, but it's
Their
a
cards.
card, and the card troll is good for usually certain vendors. I don't know if it's expanded from just Cenex ones, but like the local one here, the one in Alberton, you can fuel up at the one in Drummond. But,
we have to get a gas card.
yeah, it's a gas card.
But does it come with the vehicle, or you have to get one and establish it?
You have to get one and establish it, so under your number, or
It's-
so that way
I
when
don't
it
know.
comes in, they can see who it is and where to charge it.
You must have one. I thought that was one of the audits too, was to keep better track of the fuel cards, cause,
Yeah, but the suggestion is that the supervisor needs to initial every line item on the gas statement instead of just the overall.
so rather than a fuel card for Tim, is he one of the people that has a US bank credit card? Is he able to use it for fuel?
You know, I suppose we could, I just thought that the credit card was good, you know, it's a good use for like the motel room, I used it.
Yeah, I don't see, I mean, you would get a gas card like everybody else.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it would get a gas card, but
Yeah,
would come with the monthly bill that.
The only thing is that when we go to Great Falls or things like that, I don't know that the Cenex gas card works up there.
Is that what you guys have in the health department?
We do. We have the Cenex card because we always fill up here in town when we get back from trips and stuff. But if I go somewhere like Bozeman or something, I utilize my own credit card and then get a reimbursement for it.
oh,
Because it's-
because it
gas
only
money.
works at,
Well,
I don't know. That's
or
the way it
you
was
gotta hunt around
explained
for
to
the
me.
Senex, one or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
I see,
And so that's the hard part with those cards in particular.
I see.
Yeah.
It's
So the
limited.
credit card would be handy on a long trip, I would think, like you do with motels, Tim. It's handy if you're driving somewhere and have to pay.
Yeah, and
For
then,
But if you're
for
just going
anything of
local
gas.
inspecting your
Right, you just
restaurants
use
and
it,
stuff.
yeah.
So you kind of have both for that. I would say would be nice.
I don't know who set up the gas card initially, but like this highway patrol has a gas card and it's like everywhere. It can be used just like a Visa.
Well, I think Jason did with the road, I mean, it was the road department originally, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Mm,
I think so.
Yeah,
probably.
I
But,
don't know, you could have
So-
Charlie look into maybe.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I know, it's
You
coming.
love it.
Well,
You could have you look
Put this on
at the
your
gas
to-do
card
list.
option.
I mean, how
You
many
mean
does
contact
the sheriff's
Cenex or
office
what?
have?
Fuel card?
I have no idea.
Does
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea.
driver of the car have one and
well,
is it
well,
being used
if
in-
Ronnie has a card for the
Or
vehicles,
employees.
just give Ronnie's card to Tim because she doesn't need a gas card if she's not having any
Gas
cards.
cards.
Plus it says sheriff's department on it.
Okay, I'll look at it.
That's the problem, we would
Yeah.
need to make sure that on the
Comes out of
statement,
his- yeah.
that it's identified separately so it can be.
Well, why wouldn't we do it the same way we do the credit cards? You get a receipt, you bring it into Nicole.
Because we already have a gas card, so to be consistent, he needs a gas card.
That's what I'm saying, using the
Yeah.
gas card.
Because the gas card comes, you don't need receipts, so the gas
Oh.
card comes, you don't save gas receipts to bring them in. The gas card comes and it's separated by department.
Mhm.
So it's health department, all these people belong to the health department and that's their total.
Oh,
We just need to be able to separate Tim, whatever number he is, to his department. It would be easy, not a big deal.
okay.
So, yeah, so this, currently this capital outlay that Tim has in planning is 12,000, and I presume that was for a potential car, right?
Right.
So if we took 3,000 out of it.
So
so
go
we
to
could-
3,000.
So, I mean, so that we can give him,
car.
oh,
Go
yeah,
from 12 to 3?
right, and, no?
Well, if I'm gonna have any opportunity to look at the state vehicle over there, which they're around $5,000, that's the only thing I would have you consider is that.
Have to make a,
Leave you five in there.
I'm gonna have Joe bring.
I don't
the
know,
kids
I
here
mean,
instead of me
would we
going
end up
there, so we'll
trying
give it
to
a half
sell
hour.
the Charger on the market and say I'm gonna finally get an SUV that's four-wheel drive and that part of it, we're gonna get into the car used program, that,
You try selling that on the market though, you aren't gonna get anything out of it
Yeah.
either.
The Charger?
Could-
Yeah.
Could you take the charger over there to the state
I mean,
and trade
not-
it for something that you
What are you
need?
gonna get?
And even if you have to pay a little?
That's what I was
1,000,
wondering, is
2,000.
if they
I don't
would
know.
take it
I'd
on.
If they only
I'd
gave
gladly,
one
if I can
time
get a Charger for that, I'd pay that.
I
I'm
don't
looking
know
for a
that-
used car.
If they only gave
I
three,
think
though, I mean,
somehow
Yeah.
they'll only take state vehicles.
and that thing probably ain't got 5,000. I don't know. I didn't look in there, but all it ever does is sit there.
Well, they had quite a few pickups over there in the surplus, but boy, you look like you were
Really?
trading one problem for another problem
Really?
and stuff.
Huh?
At least I have AAA on my own. But
Yeah.
I can get it
Yeah.
extracted from wherever. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we're in the interim, guys. Today, do you think Jess said she'd be here for about another half an hour or so? Will the budget meeting end then at that point for the day?
Mhm.
And then it'll pick up another day, is that
Yeah,
correct?
because we've got regularly scheduled
Gotcha.
meetings starting at
And do you think we're gonna get to salaries today? I'm here obviously because I still wanted to revisit the fact that we're trying to get the 30 hours for the director position was one of the main reasons I'm here. And so I didn't know if we would get to that portion
I don't think that
today.
was-
Not today.
Okay, all right, so it'd be better to come back on another day. I've learned a lot, so I appreciate being allowed to participate and all of this. It's been really good, and I
Well, we're
appreciate
glad that you
being
come
here.
in. I wish other people would.
Yeah, Peg was gonna be here and she's still recovering and today was not
How's she
a
doing?
good day. She's okay, there's still a few things, so she's.
So I have
but
until
she's
12:30.
getting better.
Okay.
I got
But we
an
just-
extra half
She's
hour.
taking it slow so that she does get better.
Good.
So
Okay,
that's
what did
the
we
important
decide?
thing.
Where are we at?
So, so if we, so we, 3,000 for sure to give Tommy so we can get you a car now. And then what are you proposing as follow-up on that?
Or do you not even want that? Do you want to just go and buy a truck?
I wanna.
He wants to have enough money to
They've got
buy
a
a
weird
truck.
system over there. It's like, we won't talk to you unless Tom or Boone fills out the thing for me and puts my name and all that stuff, because they're the designated whatever contact for the county. The commissioners had to do
Oh.
a resolution and stuff like that. So they said, you get this paperwork and we can start talking to you, you know. You're welcome to look at what's over there and do that, but you can't, I can't get on a waiting list for saying, I would like something that looks just like this, where if I get this paperwork done, and get it back over to them, then I get on the list.
Can you pull up a receipt, because it'll have the phone number of the state? Because see, I think they're talking about only the law enforcement cars, because typically when the highway patrol turns in their car, so we should call the state and say, all the other vehicles that aren't law enforcement, we should be able to do it. We don't need a sheriff because we're a county entity that
They were
should-
there. No, they were there. They were MDT, they were all the trucks, all the different state agencies, they were all coming into that central.
Right, I know. So we should be able to, as a county entity, be able to get the first crack deal like sheriff's officers do on patrol cars. Because, yeah, there's motor pool, there's highway department, there's,
I agree, and all I have to do is get Tom or Boone to
Well,
certify the
But
form.
we shouldn't
But
have
I'm-
to
I'm
have to go
disputing
through
that.
Tom.
Yeah, we shouldn't have
We should
to.
be able to,
You
yeah.
guys did a resolution and put their name on it over there. I'm sorry, that's their system, but
Maybe we need to call them and
yeah, that's
say,
right. If we call
What
and
am I
find out.
I don't know what I'm pulling up.
um,
Well, we can do that later, because
Yeah,
I only have,
yeah.
I only have
Okay.
30 minutes and I have to
Okay.
leave.
I'll just work through the system. I mean, we can do that, but, you know, if you cut it down to only $3,000, then it's not gonna give me the opportunity to look at a vehicle.
but in the meantime,
Do you want the car?
we
Do
will
you
give you
want
the
to
car
even?
in the meantime until we can,
I think we should see if he even wants it. Do you want
Oh.
the car?
Well,
I don't think he
just-
does, is the thing. I think he
I
wants a
mean,
truck.
In one way I do, because you know, got some of these long trips and I'm
Okay.
tired of using my
Yeah.
vehicle and stuff.
So you
like
do
that,
want
like that. So it starts to make a little bit of sense, but the mechanics of everything of getting it then.
Because then
oh,
you're gonna
I
have to
found this,
sell
and
the
then-
car
Yeah.
if you want to go out and buy your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it'd be easier for us to say, hey, Tim, put that Charger up for sale than it would currently our situation. Put that car up for sale.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I'm pushing it, because I think we
I
just
see.
need to get,
Could we just
The
give it to
car.
Tim for now to use and
that's
then
what I'm saying.
we can, he and I can work, I'll look at that resolution, find out what's going on there, I'll call the office in Helena, find out what their issue is and why, what we need to do to change it, and we'll let you continue moving forward in your process
There's
and,
no issue to them. All they said is just get either Tom or Boone to sign this
So-
form with my information and it's done. And I
How
have the
about that
form,
SUV
and I have the
instead?
people.
That
and
other-
it's really wore out. Yeah, yeah, that
They have
thing.
transmission problems or
got- yeah.
something
oh,
with it.
okay.
it
Yeah,
rattles
it's
the crap out of you.
it's a
when you drive it.
lemon.
Oh, okay.
It's
It
a
really
lemon,
is.
it's a route.
I didn't know.
But
Yeah,
it
you
it
just
needs
heard
to
about
stay
it.
parked too.
Yeah.
Oh, it just needs to be sold. You
Yeah.
can-
Well, that's what I'm saying, but in the
Yeah.
meantime, it needs to
But
stay
okay.
parked.
So,
Okay,
okay, so if we do this, it's a sunk cost, the car's been bought already, but they're gonna want something for their budget replacement if we give this to Tim. So can we give them $3,000?
I don't necessarily
From-
know. I think you would really want to find the value of it. Like you need to
Put it in Kelly Blue Book.
yeah. Because I don't know. I mean, it has several.
I'll just Kelly Blue Book it.
Yeah. It has several 100,000 miles, doesn't it?
So can we come back and revisit this line item on the 26th, or do you want to?
Well, I'm thinking we're going to have a work session next Friday also. No, I can't be here. I'm not here. So, no. Okay. I mean,
Yeah, if we find out the miles in the year of that car, and then we can blue book it, and then we'll just.
I don't
Do an
think that
evening meeting
matters
next week?
ultimately. Ultimately is how much money do we want to give Tim? Because really what he wants to do is then sell the car and buy a truck. So how much?
Well, can we do, what about 8? Then if you sell the car, he has 5, and then you give the 3 or whatever, just say to the sheriff, then he sells it, then he has that left over.
And we actually have to add lines for fuel, vehicle repair and maintenance.
I have travel budgets in both sanitation and planning right now.
You do.
So we could take money out of the travel and make a line item for vehicle maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the fuel's being paid for right now is,
To reimburse you.
yeah, I just get 50 whatever cents a mile, 54 cents a mile, so.
I just think, it's almost,
So.
I think it's less expensive just to reimburse Tim than to do the whole nother vehicle thing,
But Tim's pickup is on its last legs. He's gonna want a vehicle thing.
but I won't recognize him if he's not in that truck.
Especially if he's got chrome wheels.
That's,
I know.
Nobody else
In the
will, so they
boombox.
can go.
It is Charger. I don't know. Tim
We're
in a
in-
Charger
I
just
think
doesn't
Sneak
work
in
for me.
incognito
Haven't
now.
you ever seen him with his sunglasses on? He'll look
Yeah.
much cooler in the Charger with it.
Have a little goatee.
Okay, so
Hawaiian shirt.
I mean,
Okay, so we'll
so
leave
you want to go
Tim
to 8?
8,000.
8,000, 8,000?
Yeah, and then we'll
And then the rest of the repairs and maintenance and fuel, we can take that out of travel somehow.
You know, just see how that's gonna work.
okay.
And we gotta be.
And that's
of
all
the-
that matters for
And we
the-
gotta be of the commitment to make sure we get him an SUV or a pickup.
Yes.
That he isn't just stuck with the $3,000 charges.
Right.
I think that's probably weighing
Yeah.
on his mind too, because.
Yeah, but you'll have possession and control of the car, and so then we'll be able to put it up for auction or sale or whatever it is,
okay.
How
and
about-
only
how about
wait until you found something you
termination
want to
rate?
get. You know, that's the
Do we
timing
want
of
Say
everything.
about
So
that. You said you had.
We need to
Would-
get him that ASAP.
yeah,
We,
And
if he
then-
does leave, we could worry about it then at that point.
Mhm.
Termination leave, line 131.
mhm.
We didn't do it for the last retiree.
Are you gonna give us
Made it work.
Yeah.
any kind of inkling, 50-50 chance you're leaving us, or you can't even give us that kind of an idea?
Yeah. I mean,
If you leave, our budget will really be screwed up because then we'll have to pay for 2 different people instead of 1 for planning and,
Totally,
huh?
totally.
So, leave it or take it out?
I don't know. What should we do, Tim? Should we leave that in there or take it?
What if you need it at the end of the year? What if it's in there and you need it? Same, what's the difference, reserve there, what?
We're trying to.
Because we're trying to balance the
We're trying
budget
to
at this
balance the
point.
budget. There's a number, that yellow number we're trying to whittle
Okay.
away.
So,
And expenditures right now exceed, what fund are we in?
Planning service.
2250.
Oh,
Yeah, look at planning. So right now, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to give you more mills or something, because look at 2250, so in revenue you have 40,000, expenditures 94.
okay, what is the inclusive of the revenue though?
Let's see, so you have,
Is that like total revenue?
yeah, total revenue. So assuming they give you the same amount of mills they did last year, which is 2.89. Here's my revenue packet. Right here.
You know, I saw some old paperwork that actually I'm not getting the full mills that are allotted to planning and sanitation.
Yeah, that I disagree with that. Because it's not, you are county-wide, so they can float you. They can give you
Yeah.
0, they can give you 20, they can allocate those mills. It's not fixed, it's not old like it used to be. That's old,
The old fixed was the old.
that's old, like
Okay.
prior to 2001 or something. But now it's county-wide, so they can move those mills.
The old accounting always used to have that fixed.
That's correct, for old.
But then it was what they gave you, and it still floated, but, okay.
So you have tax, you have the 2.89 mils.
Library gets 7 and planning
Um,
gets 2.8.
We have $100 for floodplain permits.
Yeah,
We have some planning fees, land survey fees, and subdivision
so
review.
did the $7,500
Really?
get reconciled yet?
Yes, it's right here, my dear.
I see that, but does that, I mean, why is it off to the,
Because it's in accounts receivable, it's not affecting cash at this point, because we haven't received it yet.
yes,
But-
we have.
You did not receive it as of June 30. So this is beginning cash, it's not in, this is cash on June 30 or July 1.
Okay.
You did not receive that yet as of July 1, so we add it to that cash, and I need it in a separate column just so I can track it. So this is your cash plus the $7,500.
And
So-
that is translated in the rest of the line item.
That's correct.
Jess,
Yeah, what else?
how come the library gets?
I was just saying that to Roman.
Yeah, no, it's huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Yeah.
saying to Roman. The library has 7 mills and the planning office has 2.89.
Well, what happened, what happened, you guys?
Well, he gets 5,
Well, with the, yeah, with the, if you add
6,
the-
almost
the-
7.
If you add the help, this application.
What's happened with his planning board fund is when subdivisions were high and Tim was bringing in quite a bit of money, he actually built up a lot of cash. And so what happened at that point is they decreased his mills to make him, to spend all of that cash. So it's left him with no cash. Because, my gosh, if you have cash, that was, out it goes. So that's why that planning board looks like that.
So, back to our question then, Tim, what should we do with the termination lien?
So I think we just need to decide, because
Yeah, she's,
I'll let you decide.
so I would just take it out and we can figure it out later.
We'll give the budget to Tim and he can decide.
Okay.
okay.
Take it out. No, I think you're right, 'cause we did just do it.
Yeah, I would
We
take
just
it out
did it.
and deal with it
It'll be
if it
fine.
happens. But I don't think, unfortunately, we
Maybe
don't
we just
have
did it.
space for contingencies.
Well, you sure hold his card close to his chest.
Hell yeah, you
So
did.
Charlie, health department's have nothing else to be visited today for us?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Nope, we're
Yeah,
through.
Hey.
We're through, we're done with ya.
Sounds good. We'll put
And
water bottle.
I'll see you crap.
Monday at 9?
Monday at 9.
You okay with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We completely done with him then?
We'll see you guys.
He's got
And the
growth
next work
policy.
session's the 26th as of right now.
Yep.
You can cut his supplies, that 210.
Yeah, could probably cut that by, cause he had,
Maybe 2,500.
Cut it 225, is that what you said?
Cut it $1,000 to 2,500. Okay, I think.
senior citizen, extension.
Consultant services, what was that for?
One, which one?
357, page 19. And also travel 370.
Well, this is like I said.
Consultant services is probably that Dave DeGrand, you remember him?
Is that what that was?
I would say.
We just haven't had any expenses ever on it.
What did he use him for? He did use him once. Well, it was, remember when we had the big lynching mob and they were gonna get rid of him and there was lots of complaints
Oh.
and he contracted with that guy. That guy came on and helped him for a
Oh.
while.
Okay.
I think that's,
I wonder, I wonder if we want that also. I bet it's just, okay, so what are we at? Supplies? The consultant services and travel, anything in there that we wanna, do you guys wanna
We
reduce?
could probably cut the consultant services down, huh? Just make it be,
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what it, I mean, he put it in there for a reason, so he
Yeah.
must know,
yeah.
I mean, if he's
I,
thinking there's something coming down the road that he's gonna need it for. I mean, that's something we should ask him what it's for. I mean, I don't wanna cut it and then, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a reason he put it in there.
yeah,
Good deal. How about page 20, the seniors?
Oh, we better leave them alone, yeah.
that's my opinion too.
Okay.
What do you think, Lori?
Yeah, oh, I agree.
Extension service.
He did a pretty good job.
Yes,
he
did.
cut a lot of
Kevin
his
came
stuff.
in and,
There's one thing that you guys need to, big picture on what he did, that you guys need to understand. So what he did is he moved, the administrative assistant from being 50, or 75-25 to 50-50, and paying her out of CDBG Economic Development. So what's happening is those loans that should be being lent out to people to help spur the economy and economic development,
Or
it's
paying
being
for it
eaten
for
up. It's being eaten up by administrative costs. And
So
so
CDBG and the economic development loans are separate though.
those are the same.
No,
The
Yes.
revolving loan fund?
the revolving
Yes.
loan fund is not CDBG.
Oh, yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so let's pull
CDBG
it
is
up.
Community
Development
Development
Block
Block
Grant.
Grant. And the Economic Development Fund, my understanding was that was set up after Diamond shut down.
But it comes from, it's a CDBG block grant.
There was one chunk
Oh,
of,
yeah.
one lump sum and it hasn't, we just get to use it, right?
So-
We don't get an
That was-
infusion every year from any grant.
No. So a long time ago, we got a CDBG grant, which
Mhm.
is for economic development. And so what happens then is you can use that grant and you lend it out, and hopefully you make good loans, so you get it
Mhm.
paid back,
Mhm.
and you can lend it out again,
Right.
and you get paid back. And you can spend, I feel like it's 18%, up to 18% on an administrative or something like that. It was really, I can't remember, don't hold me to that. But what happens is the more that we pay administrative out of it, the more we eat into the amount that we'll
loan
never
out.
be able to lend ever again, because it's gone. And so, just keep that in mind, that we really don't want to encourage, we don't want to use that money to balance the extension office's budget.
Right.
Because we're hurting ourselves, it's
Yeah,
a
no.
great program.
It is.
It's an excellent program. It's one of my favorite programs the county has, is to lend that money. So that's the.
And that had to be done through the CDBG because it was my understanding that that money never came from CDBG. It came from,
100% did. No doubt in my mind.
I thought there was a big infusion from, wasn't there like a Japanese guy or something
I don't know.
It's
Wasn't
on the
it one
federal
mil?
schedule forever. It's CDBG, it's federal money.
that, wow, let's show you what I know.
So it's, I'll even, like the,
Oh,
but there's
no.
so much that Kevin does for that he doesn't get paid for.
for CDBG,
Oh, yeah.
there's two different things. I mean, either way, I'm not
Right.
arguing, I'm not saying to do anything. I'm just telling you
Right,
the
yeah.
consequences of continuing
So do you
to
got a dollar
subsidize.
amount? She wasn't taking any out of there apparently.
They're
Was
taking
it-
5,200
She
out.
was taking 25,
Any
Percent.
double- Any double.
and it went to 50%. So extension could balance, because he was way over, right? So, but I'm just telling you that's just another issue, like just sitting out there. Once again, it's like,
Over time,
over time, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger where it can't sustain, and we don't have enough money to do it. So, other than that, that's all I have to say.
So we'll have to revisit, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
he's just trying to help with this, you know.
But it's not gonna, what's gonna change next year, following year?
The dollar,
Well,
the
we'll
dollar
have more-
amount in that account.
Cash well, I mean, right now his revenues are ahead by $10,000 than his expenditures, but that's because of what you
So-
just described. So I
Just
mean,
along
won't there
those
come a time
lines.
when he doesn't have to do that?
That would put a little more emphasis on trying to get that money back from the,
Guys that haven't paid?
yeah,
I definitely think that would be something worth pursuing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah,
I
so,
thought you guys had decided to not do that.
No.
Yeah, that last
Yeah, we
meeting.
did.
Yeah.
To not pursue?
Yeah, because Kevin didn't think that it was worth pursuing.
Oh, that's right.
oh, well, if he doesn't
That's
think
right.
you can collect
And
it,
it was
then
like,
that's a-
there was like a statute of limitations or something.
Well, it was contrasting with the county attorney's need to pay someone else to do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
and
right.
Kevin said, well, we could spend this much money on an attorney and
And
this
never
much, and
collect
then
anything.
balance out
Never
the
collect,
20,
yeah.
oh,
And
yeah.
it's been,
So this is what should happen for those loans, and you guys should make sure it's happening, is, Charlie. So what you should do though, but every single loan that's issued today, it
Mhm.
needs to be secured
Mhm.
by something.
mhm.
Back years ago, for quite a while, they were just writing loans.
Just on the
Mhm.
contract.
Yeah. If you-
That's what he did on that.
And it wasn't secured.
Yeah.
And it's like, who would ever have done that? That is
Mhm.
crazy to me.
Well, and some of
So-
these that we've looked at like the one out yonder there,
Gary?
the bark.
Oh, the
And
bar.
I think
Yeah.
the water one too, there
Well,
was a
but
big
even look
That
at
was
like-
the second, and as far as,
Yeah.
we're never gonna retrieve anything from it.
Yeah,
Even-
yeah. But anyway, it just
Yeah.
needs to, that should always be the thought process, you know, it needs to go to the county attorney needs to figure out what it is that you can secure the loan with, and, I mean, cause if, once the money's gone, it's gone, you
Yeah.
know, so,
Yep.
okay. That's it then for extension, but you guys just need to know that. Look, public safety. All right, so let's look at public safety.
Oh, look at salaries, holy crap. Holy crap. They pay more in salaries in that department than what we do the rest of the county. It's a lot.
So let's look at supplies. Line
Did you say
210.
you need to cut $142,000?
But you can't.
No, I
That's-
know, but.
But
you
it's
know.
not all, because we're gonna move.
Right.
We're gonna move money around, so that number isn't fixed.
Right.
We could, I mean,
Why their uniform allowance? 1 year, 4,400, next year, 8,000.
does their budget. I don't know. 8,000 was the budgeted figure last year.
So we can cut that, right?
So their budgeted figure this year is 7,090.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think, is that uniform
I think
allowance, that's
supplies are
contractual.
$5,000, really?
Mm-hmm.
But that includes, I think,
Oh, are they taking cars out of that if they're under a certain amount? Are they doing all capital
Well,
outlay?
capital
Yeah.
outlays, new vehicles, I think we can just.
But I thought that there was a time when I looked on the thing that if the car was under
Under 5,000.
something that they were using out of supply.
Mm-hmm. Under 5,000, it actually would be under supplies, but
Mhm.
But technically, I mean, they could put it out of that capital outlay and I could move it later.
Mhm. So can we cut supplies a little bit then?
Yeah, let's just start, right? I mean, let's just,
Mhm.
yeah, supplies. Okay, what are you thinking? 30?
Yeah.
Let's go
Another-
25.
What are you guys in agreement?
Where's Dwayne?
Where's our third? We need the third back. Okay. Vehicle maintenance. You see, fuel used to be in supplies. That 232 used to
Oh.
be up in supplies, so we've pulled that out.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, okay.
do you want to take supplies, Mr. Simons, to?
They've got 35,000 right now for
Is that-
supplies.
Laura's thinking 25.
Oh,
and
well, yeah, that makes sense, especially now that you explained the fuel thing. So they
Yeah, the
have
fuel-
24,000 for
fuel.
fuel. So
and
yeah, so you can
35,000
knock
for
that out.
Fuel, for supplies.
Yeah, so give them 20, yeah, make it be a 10,000 cut from
Yeah,
35 to 25.
Okay. All right.
You'd have to
I make a
fight
motion.
that many less bullets.
Yeah.
What about travel? Travel looks kind of.
What's utilities?
Could be their phones. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, it might have something to do with siege and connection too.
Well,
because-
I think we need to, and I asked Ronnie, we needed to sit down and go through the phone bill to find out who all has where.
yeah.
I mean, there's
Do
like
we even know how many?
15.
Well, I know, like, I
there's
have one.
15.
I have one, but my grant pays for mine.
Right,
And so,
but I mean, I was just going by the sheriff's.
oh,
It
yeah.
was like
What are we
15.
looking at? Oh, utilities.
I don't know.
Yeah, 340. This is more painful than doing my own budgets at home.
Got less money to work with.
All phone. Minus one water sewer from Town of Superior, which is probably a
Wow.
miscode.
Well, yeah, one garbage.
And for care of prisoners, there's utilities.
One Northwestern Energy.
Okay. So
Okay.
10,000, almost $11,000 on phones. Does that seem reasonable to? Don't they have radios?
They do.
What are the phones for then?
I don't know.
Do you use your cell phone, or do you use your radio?
Well, now that the Highway Patrol gave everybody cell phones, they use those a lot, but I
Oh,
mean.
now they did. Okay.
I mean, so now, like if, so-and-so needs a call back to complain on an officer, you just stay in your car and you call them back and say what was going on. I mean, or if the captain needs a call, you call them or whatever. But, like you say, when.
I think that's what deputies
But all
do
it didn't,
too.
it's out of convenience, it's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before, in the old days, they tell you stuff on the radio, and if you had to go make a call, then you drove to the office and you used the landline and made the call. It's mainly convenient, but it's not necessary.
They couldn't have an argument that it was life-saving or.
Either way, I think maybe they just need to limit their minutes
Can
or
you
their
look at just like
program.
one of the bills? Like, look
Sure.
at the most recent one.
For, so.
31188.
So.
Pages.
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be,
This is so cool how you can pull it in.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one number, right? One person's, or it was two numbers?
Okay, so Justice Court has one. Commissioners have one.
oh, you want me to go back? I was just trying to get to the big bill.
Yeah, go to,
Yeah, I think, go,
like, last page probably.
yeah, it's what it seems like, possibly. What's that, another?
Oh, go to like last page and then back one.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, how the hell did we ever survive all the years without cell phones and internet? And you're right, it is, a lot of it's just convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just too much.
Yeah, it's here. It's this one. Anyway,
I don't think I would just change that some, and then you can just come up with a different plan that's way less minutes, or get rid of some phones and they'll figure it out. But $10,000 on cell phones, 11,000.
How much do we got?
I don't know.
Half?
And yeah, like you say, what, is this a plan where there's unlimited minutes with all these phones and it matters very little? You know?
Well, I know they're all unlimited. But I don't know why somebody needs to sit down, I guess.
That's what I said, we need to sit down and find out.
Mm.
I mean, Dylan's are saying still on.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's still using the phone too. Forgot.
Who knows?
Call the number, see if he picks it up.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just
so
need
maybe
to sit down and
maybe
who's
you
got
guys
what.
want, maybe Charlie wants to
Charlie.
look into that, and then we can get back with
Yeah.
it. Okay.
To-do list.
Okay.
Because, yeah, and when you figure that out, Charlie, like I was
She
told,
likes it when you're around. Just
I know.
figured out because I was told when Cindy was here that they had so many phones that they could get mine for free and no charge. So after we figured out if there is a charge,
That's true.
I need to start paying for mine out of myself instead of on the free ride if there is a free ride.
No, that is true. There is they have so many of them that you get the phones for free, but
The phone itself.
The phone
Not
itself
the-
is
not
free,
the
but not the service.
Oh.
not the plan, yeah.
Okay.
And we
Okay.
pay for your one out of the commissioners, and
Well,
it's
that's what I mean. I
budgeted
need to
and-
start paying for it myself if it's not entirely free with everybody else's package.
Yeah, I don't know. The cell phone thing has always been not accessible to me, so I don't know what
Oh. Well, maybe we should leave it as is now and then research it because.
That's what I've already, yeah.
Okay.
Put a question mark next to it. Charlie will look into it and
Our
then
favorite
we'll
saying.
figure
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And then when people all say, "Why do you need Charlie for 30 hours a week?"
Mhm.
'Cause I say we need Charlie for 40. Okay.
Okay, so you're leaving that.
And then we took their
I
vehicle
think-
maintenance and we cut it in half already to 26,000.
Well,
Because probably because we have the fuel separated out. Oh, that's why. Yeah.
mhm.
So that leaves them 26,000 for tires and oil changes.
Mhm. I think we need to cut the new vehicles completely out.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't think
At
they
least
need
put it
any.
on hold for,
Yep.
So what happens if they crash one?
Well,
Insurance.
that's what our insurance
Okay.
is for.
Okay.
you know, I really liked the idea, and I don't know if Tom would consider it or not, but like when Ernie was here and he did we paid him a certain amount and he got his own vehicle. I mean, don't you think people take a little better care of their
Yeah,
stuff?
their
When
own,
it's their
instead of tearing
own
off the
and-
bumpers or,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we bought it from him, when
When it was done.
he was done.
Mhm.
So I'm on the publication legals due. How come it's $350, $950, $650, then $1,260, and now they want $1,200 again in the budget? Can't that be cut? What's that for?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
That was a big. Last year they spent a lot of money on it, but
Yeah, well,
were they advertising for?
Probably advertise. I bet you they're advertising for positions or for.
Mhm.
So maybe we should take them back down to that one year they had 800 in there.
Okay, let's take them to 800.
Yeah. Their utility. Oh, is that the
yeah,
phone
that's the
thing?
one we need to.
That's the phone, that 10,000.
Okay, Chief. Then legal service. No. Medical. travel from 3640 to 5000.
Oh my God.
Well, they already willingly took it from 10 to 5, didn't they, that day in here?
No,
No?
we didn't change that one.
Maybe that one should be.
That's what they spent.
That was their last year's budget was 10,000. This year we budgeted 5 and they didn't suggest any change.
Mhm.
Training, they did suggest that $2,000 decrease to 7,000.
Mm-hmm. Cause they got some people done with the academy. So then capital outlay, leave them nothing for cars?
Zero. Okay. The other thing you may want to consider for public safety is look at, for public safety, I do want to look at salaries. Go to, back to page 22. And you see how under the budget note, it says it includes $26,881. Sheriff's overtime, shift differential, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Doesn't it seem like somehow they just need to better manage and not pay so much dang
Well, I
overtime?
think.
Or is that
even-
not possible?
Why
It
are
is
we- Why are
possible.
we paying
Yeah.
Boone shift
So
differential
then I
when
think,
he's working
then
9
I
to
think
5?
then I think you do cut that salary figure and,
And it is possible.
yeah, you
We
said
have
that-
to supply law enforcement, but to what degree?
Right,
You know, that's always been the,
right,
when you cut the budget, they decrease their service,
I mean,
just
if
like
he wants to
anybody
get
else.
Right.
shift differential, then work the later shift
Mhm.
then.
Yeah, yeah.
What,
yeah, I
what,
think that's almost,
I mean,
it
that's
was,
a
it's two
no-brainer.
employees really, between if you look at that and the care of prisoners, it's darn near 2 employees.
who made the note there about the 26,881?
Me.
Oh, you, okay. So overtime was 26 in sheriff and then another 17 in dispatch in overtime? 17,000?
And I think that's a
No,
schedule.
no, and care,
Under law enforcement, you've got included 26,881 in sheriff's overtime and
Yep.
shifts per.
and go to the next page where you see care of prisoners,
Mm-hmm.
19,000. But Tom did reduce that by 7,000 at our last meeting. So we're at 15,000. And some of that actually is shift differential, so you can't do a whole bunch with that, but I can give you the total overtime figure.
Yeah.
I've given it to you, a while ago. Do I still have that in here? I get it, here you go. Okay. So overtime for sheriff, not including shift differential or anything, was 20,160. That's just overtime. And then
Okay.
you have the cert pay, the diff pay, and holiday pay, but whatever. So just overtime. Overtime for dispatch, 9,261. And overtime for detention, 14,706.
Giving them a raise without giving them a
So,
raise.
I don't know why dispatch would have, the jailers, they might have overtime when some goofball prisoner has all these medical ailments and then they have to stand guard at the hospital. That's probably where that overtime is for the jailers. But I don't know why dispatch has so
I
much.
think the majority of the overtime,
It's $44,000.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's,
Schedule.
scheduling.
Scheduling, yeah, they do.
It's all about scheduling.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like,
And
and then
they,
even, oh, go ahead.
in the last year, they did run short on people at different times. I mean, that's, some of
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah, they did because
expected.
they had trouble keeping a jailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of it's to be expected, but my God.
So I have to go, so I'll leave you guys to finish up those
Where are
last
you
few
going in such
pages.
a hurry? I've been just.
I have,
diving.
well, I have my, I have a bunch of kids showing up and then Joe, and we're taking him to Splash, Montana, and I have
Oh,
to
cool.
go and do a bunch of stuff in Missoula. So,
Work on the school?
Mike, or St. Clair Construction.
Oh, okay, I seen his truck pulling in this
Yeah,
morning.
but Mike Eller's the foreman.
Okay. I thought he was.
Travis didn't, he didn't bid on it. He decided not to, but.
That's a different
Yeah.
reason. He's nervous now, he ain't gonna get to go hunt.
So you guys finish up,
Yeah, that was for the best of it.
you guys finish up just that, and then here, Charlie. Will you just finish marking up those pages?
Oh, we have to keep moving? Okay.
Yeah, just because I don't, like, it's on a timeline, we're on a
So
So
what
we
are
have
you
to finish
asking
up
us
public
to
safety,
finish?
you're saying?
Yeah, just finish up those last pages.
And then you'll punch in all these numbers, see if we got any
Yes.
improvement here?
Last two
Yeah, and then I
pages.
think I'll email you guys this,
Okay.
once it's all revised, so you guys can think about it,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see if we need to have another meeting, like maybe another work session next Friday, but I won't be here next Friday.
I was gonna ask, do you guys wanna do an evening meeting?
Next week?
Uh-huh.
I would love to.
I would love to.
We could do it,
Let's see,
Let me look here and see what.
so I
So-
can do this on,
Are we meeting on August 31 or September 2? Or-
September 2,
Okay. And then our doubleheader is 8 and 9 September, right?
right, but we have to have it done before then, so,
on
We've
September
got
2nd,
another
we
one-
adopt the
We have
budget.
another one, the 26th, right?
You do.
so do you wanna meet like,
Monday or Thursday is the only night that.
Thursday next week?
No.
No,
I'm gonna go see the Dunlaps. We're going to Seattle.
Oh, I hear he's doing well.
Yeah.
Cool.
and I can't do, I could do a Monday evening one, but I would suggest a Wednesday
Let's
evening
just
one.
see. Can we just
Well,
kind of, let's just see how it all turns out.
Republicans are in here next Thursday or next Wednesday.
They can meet someplace else.
Nope, but I was gonna come and say something.
When's our final approval of it? 'Cause-
September 2nd.
So that's my
okay.
Okay.
done pages.
So it's gonna be, our final budget meeting is August 26th, and then we adopt it September 2nd.
Okay.
So we could finish this August 26th. I mean, we do have one more meeting.
Mhm.
What else do I have on that day? I could just clear out the whole day.
The 26th.
Mhm.
Oh,
It
we
just
got
makes it-
Forest Service.
Oh.
Jerry Jones, kayak, Forest Service.
But we do have 3 hours on that day, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if we'll need it then, but we'll see.
okay.
Well, what we can do is we can do the 3, and if we need extra in the afternoon, now we've got stuff all afternoon.
We shouldn't need more than 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll keep.
So we got 911 to do and,
Care prisoners.
oh, must be missing a page.
2 hours of sleep is not enough.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, you guys.
I don't know.
What else do I have up here?
This is yours.
That's mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's mine. It's my trash.
What about the supply budget on the care prisoner?
All right. Have a good weekend, you guys.
All right, we'll see ya.
Well, I remember Ronnie saying something about they had to get different mattresses now.
Oh, yeah, that's
Those are more
right.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we went from,
Do you guys want to take a break and go get something to drink?
Yeah,
And
over cash.
yeah.
so no public comment.
Where's mine, Tim?
You get to share.
Where's my house at? Oh, there's my house right there. Oh, that's nice.
You might have to reconsider, this lot obviously has one of those crop circles in it.
That's what I was gonna say.
So we
It might be,
Was that-
we may
might
be
be an alien landing
invading
pad.
the- yeah,
Was
we
that
may
done
be.
from outer space?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Doesn't show all the weeds though.
I think we should log it.
Go
Got
ahead.
timber, got a good timber. Wow, I didn't realize that was that big. So where is the well at then, Tim?
I don't know.
It sits like right about, probably like right in here.
Oh, this doesn't show up.
There's 2 parcels out there. For some reason, we got divided into.
Looks
Two
to me
bucks.
like the roads aren't where they're supposed to be, huh?
Oh,
No, you'd have to,
the other
the
block behind
cadastral's
that.
off, so.
Oh, is that what it is?
Either that or our fence lights off. Karen.
So, have you talked to anybody at Riverbend about any other possibilities for this, since we last spoke, or?
No, but I'll bring you up to date as far as what happened out there.
Okay,
Tuesday morning, it was really storming and raining, and I heard all this commotion outside, so I go outside, and not only are my horses about ready to run through the fence, but here's this grader out there. And I'm going, oh, because what they did is they took the grader and went from the road in, followed the property line as best as they could, and around that clump of trees, and then came out this way. And they did that about 3 times. So what was out there was this about 30 foot of swath. And I thought, oh, well, that's not what I understood that was going to happen. So then I came in and visited with you.
Mhm.
And then Jason came into my office a little bit later on that morning and told me that I guess the mower that they have available is like 1940s mower.
like a sickle one?
Yeah, and it doesn't like any kind of obstacles. So they chose to grade this out, and so it's like, well, okay, that's really not what we talked about. And he said, well, he says, I have a plan. So I guess he's got kind of a long-term plan, which I don't know if he's shared anything with you, as far as going in there in the springtime and burning it and then smoothing it out. Because right now it's burned up.
Got a berm.
Yeah, and Darren hasn't been home, so I haven't got to listen to all that yet. Because he's probably going to have a real fit about it, which, that's
Well,
all
I
right.
even talked to Kelly, and he even said that there's no way that you could have even drove the water truck or the mower. It's so rocky and uneven that actually that's what he would have done too, is because
Yeah.
there's no way that you could have drove a water truck, a mower, or anything to even mow it. So
Yeah, and no, and that's fine, and Jason, you know, he said, I have a plan, so, and that's fine, you know, it was just not what we talked about, so it was kind of a,
well, I think they went out there with the mower
With
and
the
the
intent.
water truck with the intent of mowing it, and
Yeah.
then just saw
Found
that
they
it
couldn't
was
do it.
right.
not possible to do.
Yeah.
So then the next option was to then grade it to provide a fire, break if there was happened to be a
Right.
fire or whatever.
And it's perfectly fine, it was just not, initially, it's like,
Well, yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
you know, and then he had a discussion with the neighbor,
Mhm.
the one who loves the little saplings. So anyway, I guess bottom line, Jason just told him, well, it's the county's property and, we're gonna maintain it, So I don't know if that individual,
You know what I used to tell him when I had a chainsaw in my hand? For every one I cut down, I plant 10.
well, sometimes folks just don't understand. I mean, they're okay with cutting, ski runs and all that
That's what
stuff.
Jason was telling me.
Because that benefits them and their hobbies, but they don't quite grasp the whole concept of forest management. So anyway, that's about all I know
So is there a
for now.
homeowners association out there at all, too?
There is a set of covenants on the Riverbend subdivision, but to the best of my knowledge, there has never been a formal homeowners association meeting since the 70s or late 60s when they filed the subdivision. That's what I understood, because I've been asked 2 or 3 times about, what could be done about the situation out there, and there was some language in the covenants. They're pretty general, they're only like 1 page, but since they've never had a meeting, to do something after the fact is pretty useless, because the courts will never side with you if you try to take somebody to court about some violation. But the covenants are so vague, it'd be pretty hard to prove a violation.
So why did they drill the well on it? Is there a well on this one up here?
Because we have a park plan, a baseball plan. We're gonna do a baseball plan, we're gonna do a tables and chairs plan, we're gonna do picnic tables, there's proposals that go back to 1979.
Wow.
Didn't Kevin say that there was, they were gonna develop it and everything, and then it kinda all fell through, or?
There's a
I
park
remember
plan
at
with
one time,
all kinds of
somebody-
tables on one side.
Riverbend Playground.
Yeah.
We don't have too many children up there anymore.
No, that was the playground, but then it turns into a ball field and ball diamonds and stuff at a later date.
Maybe we could turn it into a motocross track.
Fairground.
Yeah.
Did you say move the fairgrounds out there?
Probably more.
I
fun.
think we probably will be moving.
You don't want the beer garden right there?
No, and we probably don't want a baseball thing out there either. You also have to consider that we have one way in and one way out. And it's very,
We have considered that.
yeah, it's very, very narrow.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a real danger.
We tried to talk them into putting a way out there, and even the federal boys came here, and they're the ones that kind of nixed the
I know, it's really dangerous out there. It really is if there was a
Well, you
real-
can't cut that fence.
Not anymore.
Well, you could. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you could, if
It's
you
on-
were of that mind.
I suppose
That's what
if
I
you-
would do if it was on fire and I needed out of there.
Well, we probably would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and deal with the consequences afterwards. But, yeah, it is a situation out there if we had a major thing happen.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting about the platting of the subdivision is that it's not like they weren't thinking about the interstate, but they hadn't completed that much of the interstate by the time this was platted. I mean, they were talking about right of way and doing that, and we've had a discussion about why did you put in such a substandard access to that
Mhm.
subdivision? So. But they bid all 3 of the underpasses the same. Dairy Lane, Riverbend,
Right,
and
Dairy,
Brickers all have the identical.
Mhm.
right, Dairy Lane has the same situation. Yeah, so.
So they tried to claim that they didn't know anything about the Riverbend subdivision when they put the underpass in, and it's like, well, actually it was platted, so. Maybe you guys didn't do your homework. I don't know when houses started being built down there.
I think a lot of it was trailer houses in the beginning, because Martin's, they started out with a trailer house. Cooper's had an old trailer house. I don't know about Fikes, I'm not sure.
But they're not part of Riverbend.
Fikes?
That's right, they're not.
The Fikes aren't part of Riverbend?
The
That,
subdivision
that,
goes
that
this
middle
way.
part in there is, there's a 5-lot subdivision in there, and then there's a number of exemptions
Oh.
in there, and Mary's not part of the Riverbend.
That's right, it's the, this way down to the river, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But I don't think there were a whole lot of people down there. Evans might have been down there. Some of those old timers might have been. Anyway, that's all I had to share. Other than, I guess I was gonna put a sign up there and
Yeah, we probably, like you said, the guy who likes saplings and stuff, he probably would wanna be here. I wonder if we should move this to a decision later so that people can actually all put in their ideas.
I'm sure
Maybe
he'll
it,
be here.
maybe it would be probably, maybe we should just send an invite letter to, maybe I could get a list, or how does that work, Tim? No, you're shaking your head no.
That's gonna be a whole lot of work. You're just gonna have to look up individual addresses on it.
Might be easier to put in the paper instead of the stamps, huh?
Yes.
And if they don't see it, then you do
But
your
what
part.
do you wanna notice, for what reason?
Oh, well, the idea of a Riverbend Park Management Hazard Reduction proposal, you know.
But what may happen beyond what Jason did?
Oh, well, the future plan could be,
Well, we were talking about grazing it, or
letting somebody, maybe somebody wants to pay a stipend, a lease, and they can put their animals on it, and until we.
I didn't know it was an old mill site.
oh, really?
Lots of wood and different things out there. in the old mill site.
So
But
that's
yeah, I
what you
mean,
want me to do?
I think,
See what they want to
So
see
put it
happen.
on the paper. You still want me to go out there and put a sign up on it?
if we do the paper, you don't need to do that.
Okay, so put an ad in the paper, run it for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So put it on the September agenda, like the 22nd.
sure.
Well, what if you, like when, would you say the 7th?
22nd.
22nd. Yeah.
Or for one of our nighttime meetings, the 22nd is a Thursday.
No, our nighttime meeting would be the 1st. And that's the only Thursday we meet.
Well, the 22nd happens to be a Thursday, so I don't know why. Did you mean the 23rd?
I'm trying to see from all the way over there, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Put it that once, do you have a calendar?
I don't even have it on, it's hard to tell. Oh, right here, look at that.
You were so struggling.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Okay.
Okay.
I should you invite Jason so he can explain his long-term plan?
Nathan might- But, well, he doesn't have the plan, we're all gonna come together.
Yeah, it was.
We just directed him to go out and mow it, and like Lori said, once they got there, they realized they were not gonna be able to mow it with that 1940s mower, nor would they be able to get the water truck out there to prevent a fire from
Mowing it.
mowing it with a rock hitting it. So then he just did a change-up, wanted to satisfy your request for a fire break, and so we came up with we didn't know about that idea till later, but he just wanted to get it done because we asked him if you were concerned about a fire, so sorry you don't like the berm, but we thought that you wanted the fire break more importantly than anything.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. It was just kind of like,
And then-
oh.
No, we're just looking for suggestions what to do with, you know, do we wanna grade it, does somebody wanna grade it?
Yeah,
We
we'd
don't
like to,
know,
if
you know.
we could get a chance, but, no, Jason had told me that he has a long-term plan as far as, smoothing that.
Oh.
So if anybody else was concerned about this, huge
Being
swath
roughed up.
that went through there, maybe he could explain
Oh.
Yeah,
what his idea was.
yeah, we can have.
That was my,
I believe the commissioners are the de facto park board, right? Isn't that what we determined some time ago?
Right.
Somebody accused us of that.
I guess we especially are if the homeowners don't get together and decide what they wanna do with it, then it kinda falls on us.
Well, if it's
I don't
a,
believe
if it's a
that,
county park, it's gotta
Yeah.
be,
I don't think that, I'll have to review the plat, but I don't think there's a reference to the homeowners and the tie over to the park. It's-
Oh, it is just a county
And I,
park.
and I partly say that because of having this big file that has come before the county a number of times with something to do with it. It's like, not really been consulting with the homeowners association,
Mhm.
from what I can tell. But we have a 140-foot well out there that produces 30-some gallons a minute.
it does. I thought they said it wasn't a very good one.
So maybe it should be a Riverbend Fire Department out there.
Well, Woodland had talked about that one, you know? Getting volunteers.
Yeah, we stopped the discussion because John would say, well, if I don't have volunteers or somebody to respond, why do I want something?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks,
thanks.
Mary. Back to work. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. And everything's good. It's all good.
All right. Sorry about the change in plan.
It's like, oh,
Nothing ever goes as planned around here.
it's, and it's okay. So, it works.
All right.
Okay.
Is that what we're talking about? Moving the first Thursday meeting to
To
evening?
the evenings.
Yeah, I was just curious if you wanted to do that. I mean, I could make the Thursday meeting then.
Yeah, it's like it started at 6 o'clock, 6 till 10 or whatever,
Sure.
because we got an LEPC meeting from 4 and
Oh,
it usually runs a
Oh.
little bit after 5 is the only thing.
Okay.
So, but you usually work Thursday nights, don't you?
Well, that was because we had
Oh, we have
Thursday day. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I can do whatever.
yeah, and then if there's something on the agenda that say pertains to St. Regis or Alberton or some West End or something, we can,
Yeah,
Have
I
the
kinda
meeting.
thought we ought to bounce them
Yeah,
around
it
anyway,
wouldn't
just
hurt
to make
anyway, but-
everybody happy, you know?
So then, in regards to my schedule,
oh, right.
Yeah.
Well,
I would just come in at like 2 o'clock on that Thursday. Because if we're gonna do a 4-hour meeting, we wanna be able, we
Right,
still want
yeah.
it to be an 8-hour day. We don't wanna have overtime
Right,
on
right.
that.
Yep,
So
yep,
I'll
yep,
just
yep.
come in later in the day.
Okay.
With Nicole and I sharing office space next
Yeah.
week, it'll be way easier to be able to have the door open and, we don't want it to appear like we're not open, but, one time a month, if we just put a sign up and we notice people that, hey, we're gonna be doing this, and
Yeah.
I think it'll be,
Cool. Well, thank you.
yeah, well, I'll make a motion that we
okay.
change our first Thursday meetings, to have them starting at 6 o'clock Thursday evenings.
I would second that motion.
All in favor
Hi,
of the
Kevin.
nighttime motion, say aye.
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 Okay. And so, yeah, so that's normally the first full week, but this September 1, we're gonna do it a
Well, it's always the first Thursday of the month now, remember we changed it?
Oh,
It's
that's
not the
right.
first full week.
Oh, okay,
It's
gotcha.
the first Thursday of the month,
Okay,
so it'll be
Alright.
the first.
okay. Okay.
Starting at
good.
6 p.m.
Mhm.
What do you know?
Nothing.
Put a, we have to notice it, that you've made the change, we have to do a
We
resolution.
have to do a resolution.
Yeah, and so
now.
I'll do it next week,
Okay.
so it's all done by
Okay.
September.
Right?
Put it on your to-do list,
I'm doing
Charlie.
it right now.
So you already get some good notes from bullshit about this road or Forest Service Clearwater and the snowmobiling and
Well, I called that, Mr. Parrish, I think his name is, out of Missoula with the backcountry snowmobile.
Oh, Stan Spencer?
Yeah, Stan Spencer. Thank you. And he's sending me bullets
Okay.
from his. Now, reading that, it is an objection process. So the Mineral County Commissioners will be objecting to the decision, which you would enter
Which
into
we did
that.
anyway, didn't we?
I
in
thought
the
we did before.
first-
I
Well,
thought,
you
we-
Or
commented,
comment, maybe we.
Oh,
you
yeah.
commented initially, now hopefully you have standing, so your objection.
Okay.
I was trying to talk to Mr. Parrish about if they were filing an objection, if you guys could sign on.
oh,
He didn't seem to think that was possible, so.
No.
So do you want me to write it as an objection then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then any
Yeah,
comments
that'd
as
be
to
great.
why you're objecting would be helpful.
Well, I think it's just my feeling is the economic impact it's having.
Okay.
You know, we've got snowmobilers eating at Durango's on their way to Hoodoo to go snowmobiling. We've gotten them gassing up, stopping at the
Yeah,
town pump,
staying
they're
at the
over at the
motel.
grocery store getting stuff.
Yeah, they don't go up there from Orofino. They come,
yeah.
they
Through
get
here.
up there.
Well, you
through here.
can, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and then there was the story I had over in Kingston about the,
Right, the people
Oh,
that were
yeah.
gonna buy
well, I
homes.
buy
Yeah.
houses, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
about the time they were gonna.
Yep,
Yeah.
And I guess the other part I was looking at was they're basically ignoring the history, custom, and culture of the use of that area
yep,
by
right, yep.
excluding motorized use because it has a long 40-year tradition
Yep.
of motorcycle, motorized
Motor
use.
use.
So,
Yeah.
And I think that they're also ignoring their own history in which, well, you may have been at that meeting when they sat here and used that premium black diamond snowmobiling as what we need to start focusing on when they're shutting down our mill, you know? Chuck Wild said that's what you guys need to start doing. Well, now they don't even wanna let us do that. I
yeah,
mean,
that's a good point too. Okay.
yeah.
Well, this is all great. I mean, you write it down and send it to me because I'm about a half a bubble off anyway. I'm fighting something. So.
Oh.
I hear you.
Yeah, Donna's had something the last few days too.
Me too.
I'm allergic
I'm better
to fair.
today, but
Oh, we had,
Was it the beer?
You wanna send
No.
I don't drink beer.
email him
Yeah, I'll
some
send
of
it.
those or write it down?
Maybe that's-
yeah, and I got the same idea as you do
Yeah, I mean,
economic.
if I
Right,
had drank
yeah.
beer, I wouldn't have this.
Yeah, if you'll
Yeah.
send that to Kevin then.
Yeah,
so do
I'll pull up his email next now.
you guys want to finish this budget thing?
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
That's-
But real quick, I had a question for you. The Mineral County revolving loan fund thing, is that tied to CDBG money at all? Okay.
Darn it, when she's right.
Yep, I had to argue with Jessica. I said, no, that's not tied to CDB. Certainly is. No, it's not.
Yeah, we report on it annually
Okay.
for the federal, whatever it is. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's directly tied to.
But did the initial money come from them?
Yep.
It did, I thought it came from,
Came from repayment loans from Big Sky Forest Products, or Panhandle at the time, but Gary Supiger. And then Big Sky Machining, and then Bailey Superior Post and Pole, and the proceeds from that. And that's what put the money in there to begin with.
see,
Was
I
all
thought,
the
I thought
proceeds
that,
from CDBG.
for some reason, I was thinking that the Japanese guy had something to do
No,
with
that was
No?
Yamaguchi, and he gave the Mineral County Community Foundation
Okay.
1 million yen, which was right around $100,000,
Okay.
and she immediately gave it to the Montana Community Foundation, so they get $1,500 a year off their $100,000.
And they gave it to Open Doors. Okay.
Not
Who
quite.
who is she?
Liz Gupton.
Oh,
So, that was a result of Guy Motes, Gordon Hendrick, and one other person, I can't remember who it was now. Oh, Jim Hollenbeck, when they went over to Japan.
Mm.
And Yamaguchi was considered, his son was working at the Mansfield Center in Missoula, and he was considering putting he built these modular homes out of larch, and since we had a high quantity of larch, he was considering building them here and sending them to Japan, but they wound up, he was from Hokkaido, way up north, and they wound up setting up the plant up there, as opposed to, but he wanted, in good faith, to help this area out, so.
Cool. So what about I was reading the emails from Jim Arney and the FOIA on the.
He's trying to get
Jamcracker.
the layer, the GIS layers that will tell him exactly how much volume is in Jamcracker in that 82,000 acres. And
Compared to how much they're putting out.
Exactly. So we
Okay.
can basically get at it because 60-some% of that area is management area 12 and management area 14, which is timber production. They're only treating 8,300 acres mechanically. They're burning 19,000 acres. They say that 44,360 acres is in the wildland-urban interface. So they're not doing squat in this big area. So I think their fear is we're gonna want more timber. It's gonna get thrown back at them that it has to be an EIS if we want more timber. I don't understand why it wasn't an EIS to begin with.
Yeah.
Because it's just an EA. So I just got an email that the comment period has been extended into September 16th or something like that. So I don't know what they did or what happened, but that's great because that'll give us more time to compile this stuff. So I sent that Jim's request to Chris Partica, who sent it to their public affairs officer, who fired back and said it needs to be a FOIA. So Jim initiated a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request, and he did, and so now they have 20 days, I guess, to respond to it.
Well, good.
But we'll get that, he'll give us some good hard data. He
Yeah.
can come up with the data on the information that Tanya gave him way back when, but he said this would make it that just so much easier to.
And then you might not be able to make it to the
Friday, the 20, whatever it is,
6th.
I have to take my mom in for chemo treatment, and I will try and be back here by 2:30. I don't know if I will or not.
Okay.
Depends on her blood work that day as to how long the treatment takes, so. But it's that stewardship thing, and I think they're just responding to the letter that you guys signed that we sent to them. So if you're here and Tricon's here, that's really the ones that need to hear what
Okay.
is being said, so.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what their explanation is.
Like in the salaries for the public safety of the,
Which page you looking?
so on page 22.
Okay.
So the, obviously,
Oh.
after she took out the shift differential and stuff, she said there was 20,160 paid in overtime for deputies.
Right.
I think maybe with possibly scheduling and improvement from call-outs, we could probably make that an even 18,000, so basically a 2,160 subtraction from sheriff's office salary and overtime. So reduce that by 2,160 to even 18,000. And then the same thing in
So
the-
reduce the 110 salary line item
Correct.
and reduce it by 10,000?
Well, we are not done yet because he also has in our dispatch. So the dispatch one is currently at 9261, not counting clothing and shift.
Right.
So we could probably back that one down to an even 8,000. So that would be a 1,261. So I'll add 1,261 there and 2,160 from the sheriff's office. So it's a total of 3421.
Or is that 130?
And we're done.
And then the other one, oh. What, oh, we already did that, but they're on the publications.
Okay, so reduce line item 110 by $3,421.
Right.
Okay.
So then on the next page, we got the care of prisoners. And the reason their supply one is high is because Ronnie said that these new mandated mattresses, so I think we have to leave that there. But back to the salaries for care of prisoners, their jailers had 14,706 in overtime, and I think we can probably subtract.
Where are you getting the
Yeah,
14,000?
Well, she
I've got
gave them to us because
19,000.
she gave
But-
them to us. These numbers include like shift differential.
Yeah, so if you take
Oh,
away
I
the
see.
if you take away the shift differential, the pure overtime.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
She mentioned that and I wrote it down, that's why I'm.
I was confused.
Yeah, because it's gonna be,
That's what money says.
because those things are kinda, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But then you're adding $15,000 for their union thing, you know, to settle their union
Mhm.
contract.
Well, this is
But
that,
that-
and
but
that
that com-
includes it.
Hmm?
This includes that
Right.
number.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, no, the union attorney is paid for out of our
No,
county.
no, no,
No, no.
I'm saying.
The agreement that you
We've
got.
got, we've got to, yeah, their salary, we've got to add 15,000.
But I thought she said she'd already included
She
that.
did.
She did that already.
And that's what I'm saying, is that 168,000 is inclusive of the $15,000 for what was agreed upon in the union agreement.
Right. I'm only taking the numbers.
He's just taking pure
Oh,
overtime.
Pure overtime, I'm not, yeah. So, if the jailers had pure overtime of 14,706, some of that may have been due to scheduling thing, or it may have been guard duty or whatever, but we could probably scale that one back to an even 11,000. That
Okay,
would
so
take
cut
off
$11,000.
3,400 and 3,000, yeah, $3,706 less off of that. They should be able to get by with it. I'm thinking too, I know which prisoners were in there causing all those problems, but I think they're gone, so hopefully we'll have a better year this year.
Okay, so reduce 168,000 by $3,706.
Right.
Okay, got it. And inmate meals, I don't know,
Did she include the new rate that we just?
I don't know, I was thinking about that the other day, did they take that contract? I guess you can't really, it's hard, cause that fluctuates.
Yeah, we don't know how many
You know,
prisoners we're gonna have.
exactly. But it was like 30, 36, 35, 32, and then in 15, 16, it went up to 60.
61.
Yeah. But you can't ever anticipate how many you're gonna have, so.
You gotta feed 'em.
You see anything there?
I'm backing up, because when we talked about the salary, you said, so 168, and I'm looking on the line, I don't see, I see 268.
So salaries for,
Over here at the side.
it's right here. Final budget.
68,000, final budget, 168,728. Over
Clear over.
salaries over here at the
Clear
side.
over, clear over.
We're care prisoners, is that where?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a different format than you do.
No wonder your number's up here. You want this one?
I don't see 168.
Oh, that's law enforcement.
You're not-
Oh,
You're on the wrong
that's right,
page.
I wrote it down on the other page, okay, gotcha. Okay.
168 right there.
There we go, okay.
We were all.
Well, what's this $30,000 utilities?
So I looked that up already.
Didn't we say that was
Mhm.
phone bill?
I know it's
Nope,
garbage.
that was, here, I'll pull it up for you.
I know it's garbage.
Probably water and electric, huh?
I think so. Come on.
Yeah. Garbage service, water sewer.
Did you turn your TV off over there?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I've got
That's
this
okay.
remote
I can
control
see it here.
Yeah.
that I have successfully hid for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Garbage, sewer and water.
They do pretty good off us on the sewer and water, don't they?
Yeah.
I say they do pretty good off the old
Oh,
courthouse
yeah.
on the sewer and water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Mineral County needs to take over the water company.
I think so.
Oh,
And then we
jeez.
just we won't charge ourselves.
That's right.
We'll be bankrupt.
We'll spend 1 million trying to get it, but
Yeah.
we won't charge ourselves.
Okay, so nothing else on that sheet?
Yeah, actually, the
Oh.
the medical services for prisoners,
Uh-huh.
I think we can probably knock off 2,000 and make it be an even 28,000. Because I'm hoping that we don't, because you look at the other years, we were 14, 20, 29. So we should be able to get by with 28, I mean, unless somebody has there was a lot of prisoners that went to the hospital and stayed on the
Mhm.
county's dime last year, I remember that.
Okay.
Okay, did
Well,
that.
that and then, well, I guess you have to provide it for them. I mean, it's from anything from Rolaids to,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
everything's on
Aspirin.
aspirin to,
Mm-hmm.
And then a doctor visit when they get constipated from their Rolaids.
Okay, so I reduced that.
Okay.
well, then like, travel, they only had 70, 213. And now we're at 1,500.
Yeah, what's with that?
Let me look and see what they have. in there.
198,
Yeah.
220, 70, 213, and now we're at 1,500.
Now, what's examples of those guys travel, other than when they go to the academy,
I
or
split.
are they charging prisoner relays on that or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a big jump. And they haven't even spent over $220 in the past before on that.
Well, let's knock $1,000 off of that one.
McCaskill. That must have been go to,
30740.
for training or something, I'm assuming.
Yeah. In April.
Well, training, that'll be under training.
We'll look at it. Cause it's really cool, cause now you can go look at the claim.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're saying charge mileage and the.
Hi, Miss Mary.
Mileage.
MLEA,
dinner,
yeah, for the
MLEA
academy.
detention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he went again in June, huh?
So he went, when was this signed? So in April of 16, and then this other one,
Looked like it was June. I thought they were on strike then. I'm seeing at the academy.
Oh, coming back.
Oh, so he
the
must
next month.
He must have been
Oh,
in
so
the
he must-
academy.
He must have just, we must have just paid him
Mhm.
one way the first time or something, I don't
Mhm.
know. So then we had to turn around and pay him.
Lost Turtle Hill.
So that's what that is. So do you guys wanna reduce that?
Yeah, I think all the jailers have been done training now, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they have a full,
Leave them $500 and then take it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking,
Mhm.
500.
Okay,
And
And then
then
the
training,
training-
aren't they all trained now?
I don't know.
because in the past, they
We're gonna
never
have to train
spent,
one new one, ain't we? Didn't, who quit?
a dispatcher
No one-
quit.
Oh, it was a dispatcher.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
speaking of
Brandy,
that,
has she been to training? No.
Brandy did as the trainer. I didn't know anything.
Did Rogers accept the call to come back to work in
Um,
place of Julie?
I don't
Chris
know
Reynolds.
yet. I'm waiting.
So are they
On
doing
information.
overtime shifts now?
Yeah, but that's a discussion for another day.
So are all the detention officers trained right now?
As far as I know.
So we should be able to cut back the training to just,
I mean, you guys could always cut it and then they could come back and, you know, and say, hey, we need you to add that back or whatever, but yeah.
yeah,
Cut 1,000 off of that, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I like when we deal in thousands.
Yeah, yeah, it's better than 50s.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We're done with that
So
page.
that's it. Oh, hopefully Jessica
We've got
will.
911.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna ask, why is the 911 utilities so high?
11,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know it was that last year, but what made that happen? Why was
Well,
it?
even $20,000 in supplies.
They
They
might be,
spent 10,000 last year. Oh, I guess we're down to 10,000 right
Yeah,
now.
because it says he knocked 10 off.
Yeah,
5,000.
11,000 in utilities. What are they, what are consultant services for 911?
Let's look.
Any idea?
You want,
Pretty expensive, whoever they are.
Zerker,
Swift maintenance,
maps.
maps.
It's
Oh,
all,
maps, yeah.
it's all there. Swift.
Yeah.
30556.
So that was under
Consultant services.
consultant, okay. And, yeah, and that's, next look at utilities, why did we spend almost 12 grand in utilities last year out of 911?
Hang on, I want to go look at this.
Yeah, we went from 4,000 to 11,000.
Mhm.
$12,000.
I think that Zurcher, that's the name of the new outfit that's replacing Swift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one that they want, yeah.
It's the one Adam recommended.
Yep. Okay, so now we're going to go look at
340.
340, okay. I have no idea.
But Century.
Well, Black, yeah.
I'm gonna
we got
look it up.
Blackfoot under there. $600.
I'm gonna go look at it. CenturyLink. I have no idea, you guys.
Yeah.
communication service is your lifeline to your business.
I'm wondering if CenturyLink is for their, you know, like when they send fingerprints and background checks and,
That's where it goes through.
yeah.
Well, if it has something to do with their criminal justice information.
Oh, but this is 911.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
That's a
something to
big
ask
jump.
about.
Yeah.
Well, we could put a question mark by that one.
Yeah. It's something we can ask if, when we go over the Verizon bill, if you want,
Yeah.
Charlie.
Oh, yeah, I have to do that too.
It's a question. And consultant services, what was that?
That was at
Zerker and.
Zerker
right.
and Swift and
Swift.
Maps and
Okay. I think we can cut out the new radio for the deputy car if we're not gonna get in cars.
actually Tommy told me they're gonna get a car because the city of Superior's buying one.
Well, let the city's Superior buy the radio for it then. If it's gonna be a city car, then they should buy the radio, buy the equipment for it. Why should the county? That's my opinion.
Well, why don't we cut it to 3,000 and then the city can pay the difference. From 6 to 3,
Okay.
radio shouldn't cost more than $6,000 outfit. They probably had that times 2 because they had 2 cars. It probably is 3,000 a car for the
No,
radio, I
it's
bet.
like 6,000.
A car? Really?
So
Really?
did you see this new contract services, the new dispatch system?
Yeah.
The annual payment is $36,000 a year.
For Zerker?
And it's my understanding that there's like no other options, like
Right.
that's,
I heard that Sanders County's going to that too. One of these, like you say, convenient computer things that cost an arm and a leg and everybody's supposed to do it.
yeah. Ooh, we're done. That was somewhat,
Painless almost.
I don't wanna say painless. I'm not quite sure what I wanna say.
How much did we whittle away, do you know?
Well, let's add it up.
Here, I'll give you that for safekeeping. Unless you want me to take it home and put it in my book.
Yep, do that.
Where's my book at?
You got it.
I know
So-
exactly.
Okay, we need to do, yeah, when you get done with that, we need to approve claims and checks.
596.
Oh, that ain't bad.
That's a
We were trying to
start.
reach what, 120 or something?
129, almost 130.
So, I make claim number 31280.
Okay, hang on.
Well, I'll
Sorry.
just give you this stuff.
Okay.
So if you can just 31280 through 31316 in the amount of $34,796.25. And it'll be check number 6546 to 6582.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of Commissioner Johnston's financial motion, say aye.
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 Okay, will you give it to me again? Total?
Total is $34,796.25.
That's not a bad number. Last time it was 57,000. Okay,
Claim number 31280
31280.
through
Oh,
31316.
wait, where am I? 31820 and ending with 31.
No, 31280. 280
Okay,
through 31316.
okay,
Warrants number 6546 through 6582.
okay. What else?
Oh, and remember Jessica mentioned the other day about having the county attorney send out an email to the department heads about looking into the statutes of if they go over their budgets, if they'll be personally responsible.
Okay,
And I think that that needs to get out. As soon as possible. I mean,
Yeah. What it boils down to is, you have to bring them in ahead and sit down with your county attorney and say it. Because you can send them that, but it's just another piece of paper, you know?
okay. Let me go save my,
That's all I
that
have.
document so that way I can put it on that.
that's all I have.
It is a